into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. My name is Graham Richards.
I am Carissa Cupido.
Welcome to it. Welcome to you as well.
Thank you, Graham. We're sharing a screen now, so we're officially here.
Yay. Okay, so you're going to have to just deal with it. There's going to be a little bit of crying every now and then today because we are very excited to have a new member of the family. And it's going to be like this probably for the next 3 weeks. So,
It will be.
welcome. A fantastic start. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling so good. Yesterday, I shed a lot of tears, so I think my quota has been reached for now. But Graham, it's over to you. If you shed a tear or two, I'll actually be pretty happy about it.
I'm there for that. I think you guys know me too well, and it's going to be one of those kind of shows. And we've got, I think, another member of the team that is going to add even more emotion, even more love to everything that we are doing. And of course, we've got Zanele as well, bringing up a whole different level of energy. And I love the fact that we are connecting this love and this energy from Cape Town all the way to Johannesburg. So I'm going to say a very good morning to Zanele as well.
Good morning,
and
Zanele.
we love you, girl. Hope your day is starting as beautifully as ours.
Oh, good morning, my beautiful family. I love you guys even more, but can I just say, Carissa, 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 yay! Congratulations, Carissa. I am so excited that you are joining the family. Genuinely, I have been the biggest fan of your career for the longest time. I respect you and your work so much. I admire you as a person so much. From radio to television, you are an absolute superstar. And I think that as the Expresso family, we are so lucky to have you joining the family. And I am so excited to work with you. It has been a dream because you're so amazing at what you do. So I am so excited, and welcome, beautiful sister.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is what you were saying about the waterworks. Let me breathe. Let me breathe. Zanele, thank you so much. It's such an honor to work with her, too. I've had my eye on her career for a while, so.
Doing amazing things, and we get to plug into this energy every day. Zanele, we absolutely love you. Have an amazing day up in Jersey, and we're going to keep it amazing in Cape Town as well. We're going to have a whole lot of fun this morning. We love Tuesdays because it gets very real. We know that we get into health topics as well, those relationship discussions which get oh so spicy. And just as an added cherry on the top, you get to dress your very own Ken doll this morning. Ryle, how are you feeling today, my brother?
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, Mzansi. Listen, there's so much good energy right here, so I'm going to tap into that, and hopefully you are still riding that energy wave right now since yesterday already. But this morning, we're going to keep it going, keep it flowing, and I'm going to ask you a desperate question. I need your help. It is, of course, Tuesday, and I need you to help me choose a look for the day, and we've got some incredible options out here, don't we now? And Woolworths have definitely come through with the following. So, on my left-hand side here, well, the closest to my left-hand side, we've got this lovely rust knit. We've got the straight cut jeans and then a nice boot, a black boot to go with that. So I'm going to call this like a comfortable laid back look. I know we can feel this one for sure, and it's again perfect for the season. And then a little bit more of a chic style to it. We've got the pullover knit over here. We've got some flannel, obviously the chino, which goes with almost anything, and then a nice brown Chelsea boot to kind of pull it all together. So laid back or chic, we've got incredible options here, Mzansi, but it only gets tougher because you need to decide. I need your help to come through and make me look good for this Tuesday so I can match up to the caliber of our new presenter and how good she looks, and along with the rest of the crew this morning. So, Mzansi, what do you think? Let me know what the options are. Option number 1 or option number 2. And please, I don't think you can make a wrong decision here, but just come through and help me out. So, if you want to know anything more about this, and if you are possibly inspired by these looks already, then you can definitely get them at Woolworths. It's available in-store, online, and on the app. And I know that for this season, either option's going to be a winner. Come through.
Big love is in the tiny details. Every second, every nook, every stitch. The details make the difference.
Ryle, did you say make you look good? Honey, you always looking good. What do you mean? But I do always choose the chinos, if you must know. I feel like you look good in anything, but I choose the chinos, my love, and that is my vote. Expresso family, we know that we always, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, come to you live from Johannesburg, all in the name of making sure that you are indeed getting all of the delicious spice that you need. And we are coming to you live from Design Quarter. It is the Samsung showroom in JHB. But this morning, all in the name of finding out what it is that you have to say, we want to hear from you for our Good Morning Post. This morning, we need you to head over to the social media streets, use hashtag Expresso Show, and make sure that you hit us up on the WhatsApp line, 063-408-8863. And anybody who has ever stopped smoking, we need you to come through so that you can maybe inspire someone else, and also just let us know what it is that you 100% had that made you not look back, my friend. What was that mental shift that came through that made you be like, you know what, I'm never coming back to this specific place that I was in? We want to know about it, and we need you to please answer us. Hashtag Expresso Show, 063-408-8863. We're going to be jumping into some of those answers a little bit later on, but we got to take care of business because it is the top of the hour. So, Raul is standing by with the news headlines. Hi, Cape Town.
Thank you so much, Zanele. Yes, let's get into it. Official duties must commence, and starting with national headlines. Now, the IEC says there were some insignificant challenges on the first day that South Africans could cast special votes in this year's election. Now, Deputy Chief Electoral Officer Masego Shiburu said there were 435 polling stations, of which 107 were unable to unlock. Now, Shiburu said the IEC was now working with security structures to ensure that those entitled to vote can do so tomorrow. Now, National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola has since announced that an additional 500 members of public order policing have been deployed to various parts where there were problems yesterday. Now, carrying on with national headlines, the Department of Health has confirmed a second case of monkeypox in South Africa. Now, a 39-year-old man admitted to Addington Hospital in Durban who was diagnosed with the disease. Now, symptoms include a painful rash, swollen lymph nodes, and fever. Now, a spokesperson for the department, Foster Mohale, says people who have symptoms should be tested as soon as possible. Now, he said the department was working closely with the National Institute for Communicable Diseases, which was in the process of identifying people who were in contact with this patient. Well, we now move to international headlines, and an Egyptian soldier has been killed in an incident involving Egyptian and Israeli troops in the border area near Rafah. Now, the Egyptian and Israeli militaries are investigating what happened, and tensions between Egypt and Israel have heightened since Israeli forces took control of the Gazan side of the Rafah crossing, and this was 3 weeks ago as part of their offensive against Hamas. Now, Egypt is a strong supporter of the Palestinians and has condemned Israel's military campaign in Gaza and the killing of thousands of civilians in the war. Well, next up in our headlines, a deadly landslide which villagers in Papua New Guinea say struck like an exploding bomb, which may have buried some 2,000 people alive. Now, the figure provided by the acting director of the country's National Disaster Center is far higher than the 670 that the UN suggested over the weekend. Now, exact casualty figures for the disaster, which tore through the villages in the early hours of Friday, have been difficult to establish. Now, desperate attempts to rescue survivors from the rubble have so far been hindered by rubble 10 meters deep in some places. Well, next up in our headlines, does your toddler need a winter coat? Now, for a skiing holiday, they'll outgrow perhaps next year. Well, maybe you need camping gear for a rare adventure. Well, enter the Library of Things, otherwise known as the Lot. Now, it's a new trend letting you rent just about anything, from baby clothes to air fryers, and over 2,000 lots exist in England and Central Europe, with half popping up in the last 5 years. Now, one simply sets up an account and pays a rental fee, and owners of lots share stories of high-demand items such as a table saw loaned 321 times and camping gear used 250 days per year, as well as items being rented 300 times by some 1,200 different people. Well, one wonders, perhaps there's a gap in the SA market. Interesting indeed. For now, though, we carry on with the rest of the headlines. Here's G-Man of the latest when it comes to all things sport.
Thank you so much. Well, let's kick it off with some footballing news. Of course, a lot of eyes on who's managing who going into next season, and it seems that he's in the pound seat. Unai Emery has now signed a new 5-year contract with Aston Villa. So the former Arsenal and Sevilla manager guided Villa to a historic 4th-place Premier League finish, securing Champions League football for the first time in their club's history. And Emery, of course, replaced Steven Gerrard in October of 2022 after winning the Europa League with Villarreal, his 4th triumph in the competition following 3 victories with Sevilla on a rich vein of form. Now let's see who's in the hot seat at Chelsea. Well, it seems that Chelsea is in talks to name Leicester City's Enzo Maresca as their new head coach. That according to British media reports. So the Italian, who once worked as Pep Guardiola's assistant at Man City, you might remember, successfully led Leicester back to the Premier League after their relegation last year. And his tactical approach and style of play have impressed Chelsea's decision makers clearly, and he could be unveiled as their new manager in the next few days. Now let's turn to tennis and mixed feelings about what's happening on our clay courts. Iga Swiatek, she kicked off her quest for a 4th French Open title with a dominant 6-1, 6-2 victory over French qualifier Leola Jean-Joël Coco Gauff. The 3rd seed and US Open champion secured her 50th Grand Slam victory by defeating Russian qualifier Julia Avdiva 6-1, 6-1 in just 52 minutes. So Gauff will now face Slovenian qualifier Tamara Zidansek in the next round. Now we turn to the men's draw, and we were seeing possibly the writing on the wall as Rafa Nadal's illustrious French Open career likely concluded yesterday with a first-round defeat to Alexander Zverev. So the questions about his future in tennis, I'm going to just say it on behalf of all 38 and 39-year-olds. I don't think he's done just yet, but that's where we're going to leave our sport for now. Let's take a gander at the weather.
Well, thank you, G-Man, for all those sporting updates. Let's have a look at your weather. The SA Weather Services has issued a warning for extremely high fire conditions that will be dangerous, which can be expected over the north-central parts of the Northern Cape province today. The Weather Service has meanwhile said that at this stage, voting day tomorrow is expected to remain dry and rain-free countrywide. Although a cold front is moving closer to the Western Cape, current numeric weather prediction models indicate that rainfall associated with the arrival of the cold front will only occur after tomorrow. It has in fact been recommended that voters and election officials be cognizant of the predominantly sunny conditions forecast for large parts of the country. That sounds like a good problem to me. Remember to share your morning views with us on 063 408 8863 so we can see what it's looking like on your side of Mzansi. Let's now have a look at your temperatures.
Uppington, I'm going to say, man, winter must have hit. It's dropped below 30 in Uppington, Michael. This is a big day. It's a big day. Okay, I hope I haven't jinxed you. Of course, Michael Mole, our favorite doctor in the whole wide world, is here. I think to answer some very important questions. If you've got a child that's wetting the bed, it can get hectic. For the child,
and the
it
parent.
can be really bad, but for the parent as well. And Mike's got all the right information that you need. Then if you're looking to quit smoking, okay, I know it looms large in a lot of smokers' lives, we might just have the life hack to help you on your path. Stick around. I knew you'd agree.
There are stories of strivers, and we're inspired by them all. We invite you to write your story with us. Your story matters. ABSA.
Welcome back as we enter into, I'm going to call it a family discussion. It's kind of a bit of health, but it affects us in different ways. Bedwetting. In fact, affects 1 in 6 children between ages 5 and 10. That is quite a lot, and it can cause, obviously, stress, massive sleep disruption for both children and parents. And Dr. Michael Mole is on the couch to discuss the causes of bedwetting, to get to the root of it, and then offer some effective strategies to help manage it and improve the quality of life for the whole family. And please, if you've got any questions, weigh in. If you're experiencing something now firsthand, we'd love for you to share your perspective and any questions. We've got the genius on the couch this morning, 063-408-8863. Don't act all humble.
Who was himself a bedwetter, so let's just say this on both sides of the coin.
I absolutely love it, and thank you for saying that, because I think for a lot of people, the first hurdle you've got to get over is just talking about it, because it's an awkward, difficult thing, and the last thing you want to do is put your child on the spot like that. Why? Why does this happen, especially with older kids? You would think this is something that would naturally work its way out, but 1 in 6 is quite a high number.
Well, let's talk about what it is first. So nocturnal enuresis is the medical term, but bedwetting is defined as a child who wets their bed, who's got to be older than 5, at least twice a week for a period of 3 months. If that's your child, you have a bedwetter in the family. And to your point, 1 in 6 kids. Why do we think it's a lot? Because we think we're the only ones going through this.
Yeah.
If you think of a class of 30 kids, 5 of them are wetting their bed, but no one talks about it because stigma.
And therein lies half the problem, is because the gems, the information that we need to mitigate, to do something about it, probably lies within that community. What's happening on a physical level? What should have kicked in at age 5-ish and hasn't when this is happening?
Well, 3 things essentially are the cause of bedwetting. You have a small overactive bladder that eventually gets larger and matures. Your body's not producing the hormone that it should to tell your kidneys, produce less urine at night. Something
Slow
called
down.
vasopressin, And the third thing is kids just have this poor sleep arousal. They just don't wake up. Now, those are all very natural processes that mature over time, which means moms and dads, children who wet their bed do it involuntary.
Please,
it is never
it's not
their
a
fault.
psychological choice.
No, it's not a child that's being, difficult, or in fact, I loved what you said, it's not a psychological choice. We used to think there was a psychological component to bedwetting, a cause. Now we know that's not the case at all.
It's just a timing.
It's a result of bedwetting. There's lots of psychology as a result of, but it never causes bedwetting. Good point.
I love that. And we'll look at how you can treat it from those 2 different angles in a moment. But primary and secondary enuresis, what is is this a sliding scale?
Thank you, Dr. Graham.
Thank you, yeah. I practiced enuresis a few times as well.
So primary just means, and that's the bulk of bedwetting, that's around 70 to 80% of bedwetters are primary bedwetters. It means they haven't been dry for a period of at least 6 months. Now, kids under the age of 5, we don't expect them to be dry, but from 5 years old, we expect there to be some maturation, and so for 6 months, got to be dry, all right? If they aren't, that's primary. If they have been dry for 6 months and then start wetting their bed again, secondary, and that's got a different set of causes. Diabetes, bladder infections, constipation, a number of other things.
Can affect that,
The bulk of bedwetters, primary bedwetters.
First step, what do we do? Seeing as this is going to affect the, the children to the degree that it will, and you mentioned the psychological components, happens as a result of. So maybe just broaching the conversation and understanding and making sure that they're safe through that journey, so they don't feel like the one that is making the big mistake or the reason why everyone's upset. And you can imagine what it's like waking up to that, starting your day with that kind of energy. So what kind of energy should we have as parents to broach this?
Said like a true father. Well,
like a parent.
So I mean, that's the whole reason we have a World Bedwetting Day, is to do that, is to create awareness around bedwetting. What is it? The fact that it's involuntary. Never punish your kids for something they can't help doing. But secondly, to say it's actually something we need to treat. Don't wait, don't overlook, don't it'll be fine. Proactively deal with it. And there are 2 essentially things you can do. The basics, so avoid any fluids before bedtime. During the day, as much fluid as your child likes, encourage it. Encourage regular visits to the loo, but 2 hours before bedtime, no fluids, and actually 4 hours before bedtime, no dairy, for a whole bunch of kind of
other reasons, but
And then just before they go to bed, let them go to the loo. Even if they don't want to, it just kind of forces that habit. So those are the basics, and as parents, we would naturally do that. But then the actual active engagement is to say, okay, so what more can we do? And there are two things. You can get into some medication and you can get into bedwetting alarms. Both have sort of similar effects. One relapses a lot quicker than the other. One takes a lot more motivation than the other. And the other thing, which is quite interesting, if I can squeeze this in, is in the past, there was this belief that wearing absorbent pants kind of prolonged the season of bedwetting.
Okay, for sure. Facilitated it, if you will, yeah.
Well, but there's been a fascinating study that's done recently by some world-leading bedwetting experts that showed quite the opposite. In fact, they showed that by stopping wearing absorbent pants had a limited effect on, slowing or shortening the bedwetting season, but it had a significant effect on the quality of life, something you mentioned right in the beginning. Better sleep, less grumpiness, less tiredness, overall, no-brainer kind of stuff.
Just
so
a little bit of help.
That's new.
Yes, next minute you're going to come up here and say that flossing is no longer necessary or something like that.
Really?
Such a disruptor. I love that. I think as a parent, often we put all of our stuff on our kids, and something like bedwetting is we judge ourselves, we judge our children. There's a lot of judgment. Maybe that's a first step to take that out of the equation so you can be practical and do something that's going to help your child and help the whole family. Please, if you've got any questions, we're going to go deeper into what we can do to mitigate the effects and get to the root cause in just a moment. 063-408-8863. That's how long it took my brain to remember that number. Use it when you want any questions answered. We are going to sit on the couch with Dr. Mole for another session in a moment.
This is me right now, being so grateful for the doc being out here. I absolutely love this conversation, so pertinent, and it doesn't stop there, Mzansi. We're going to dive into more of this in just a bit. So the doc will be standing by to assist you. And speaking of assisting you, when it comes to the health profession, we've got so many people out there, right?
My goodness. Well, it is Tuesday, you know this, which means that it's time for our Pharmacy of the Week segment, where we salute the remarkable individuals leading the charge in healthcare. A tribute to these fearless champions, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Yeah, always get excited for this one. So let's do exactly that. Let's take a look at this week's Pharmacy of the Week. We're talking about Amayezethu in Mdantsane. Yes, please, bring it on. And let's check this one out.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
We started this pharmacy during the economic recession in 2008 when there was issues with load shedding, when load shedding started. So at that time, it was a bit of a difficult time. I remember worrying about, are we going to make it? And because of the community in Mdantsane and their support, we are actually still here and we doing well. I mean, we are loved by the community and we love the community. We are part of Sondelani Group of Pharmacies, which is the biggest independent group of pharmacies in the Eastern Cape. As a pharmacy, we provide medication combined with information on the proper use of the medication to ensure that we achieve the desired outcomes for the patients. When dealing with a person, it's not just about someone taking a pill, it's about the entire person in terms of what are they going through, how do they feel. We've realized that a lot of times when you serve the customer in a manner that's pleasing, the medication works even better. Sometimes, there's language barriers. So what is nice about us is that we speak the language of the community. So we are able to get in deep and understand each other as much as possible.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Suffering from a blocked or runny nose, body aches, congestion, pain, and fever. Today, be brave in the face of colds and flu. Use Carenza Paracy. Carenza Paracy. Relieve cold and flu symptoms this winter. Carenza Paracy. Proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Carissa, you're going to have to get used to that. Being proud of the incredible health workers out there on the front line, just absolutely doing the most. We definitely can't say nothing that I've just been feeling grateful right now, right?
Yes, Stephanie. I mean, that's an easy ask. Every day, all day. We thank all pharmacists making a difference in their communities. We just want to say from the Expresso fam, we appreciate you.
Yeah, we definitely do. And we appreciate you so much that we're going to fill you in what to look forward to right now and make sure that you don't go anywhere, right? Because just around the corner, corner. We still need your help. I need your help in terms of getting my look ready. It's Tuesday, and I need you to come through. What's it going to be? Are we going for the chinos? Are we going for the straight cut denims? Come through, Mzansi. I think they're both great options, and it's almost time for me to put the look on.
We can't wait for that moment. Make sure that you let us know which you prefer. And just after the break, of course, we get into conversation with how to potty train your kids with somebody that I'm just crushing on a little bit because I grew up watching him on TV, our good doc, Michael Mole. He'll be back on your screens in just a bit, so don't go anywhere.
Stop stealing my crush, okay?
I'm sorry.
Attention, all you passionate young chefs in the making. Are you between the ages of 13 and 17? Do you love making magic in the kitchen? Then this is your chance to shine on TV. Enter to be a contestant on the Tastemaster SA Junior, made with love by Clover, and stand a chance to win 150,000 Rand. WhatsApp a video showing us your baking skills or enter on the tastemaster.co.za. Entries close 31st May. T's and C's apply. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue with a very interesting, and I would imagine for those affected, very important conversation with our favorite Dr. Michael Mole around helping our children and parents deal with bedwetting. Now, if you have any strategies that have worked for you, some life hacks, please share them with our family. And you can do that via our WhatsApp line. You can drop us a voice note, 063-408-8863. Likewise, if you have any questions. I keep going back to the psychological element, and I suppose that speaking as a parent, that's often the first point of contact where I feel like I get it wrong, is like just manage the situation, handle it a little bit better. So when it comes to the psychological knock-on effect, in your experience, what can some of the dangers be, and when do we need to kind of step in, and how do we do that?
Yeah, so such an important question. Quick throwback to Carissa, beautiful earrings.
I know.
Potty training and bedwetting, no connection whatsoever. So from a parental guilt perspective, where you kind of think, I messed up potty training.
It's not, you didn't get the foundation wrong.
Yeah, no, so you're all good. Psychologically, the reason we say manage and treat your child's bedwetting as soon as possible is the psychological fallout. So kids that wet their beds are at greater risk of depression, believe it or not, compared to kids who don't wet their beds. They are more isolated. They don't want to go out, have sleepovers, have friends over, because you can imagine what might happen tomorrow morning.
Yeah, for sure.
Poor performance at school and very low self-esteem. I mean, can you imagine? That's the worst thing you want for your children, and it's because of something they cannot
control. Yeah.
So you really, as parents, this is the big issue. And by the way, punishing your child for wetting their bed prolongs the season of bedwetting and increases the wet nights. So if I can say it again and again, never, ever
it's the opposite.
Punish your children for wetting the bed. It is not their fault.
I love that. And it exacerbates it, in fact. It intensifies the trauma, and it can get traumatic for little people. And I think both parents also, when you feel like you're just not getting it right.
Yeah.
Do different environments make a difference? You mentioned kind of sleeping out, those sorts of things. That's quite a drastic change, but can that make a difference in terms of where they're sleeping? Any dangers in kind of changing the locale?
So that comes down to the psychological causes of bedwetting. We pointed out that there isn't, so unlikely, but things like medication are great for kids who want to go and sleep out. So what medication does is it's this hormone that your body should be producing that you give to your child, and immediately they have a dry night. The challenge with that is it relapses. As soon as you stop the medication, they'll go back
you
to
want it to kick in the body.
Yeah, exactly. And that just takes time because that's the natural maturation process. Whereas bedwetting alarms, for example, that teaches your child, that's a behavior modification kind of therapy that teaches your child to be aware that they're about to wet their bed.
Just to
and
wake
kind
up.
of wakes up.
Okay.
But it takes a lot of motivation, 3 to 4 months before it really kicks in. But then when you stop that, there's no relapse. So, you know.
Okay, well,
Swings and roundabouts.
I suppose it's about choosing where you are in your phase of this journey. How do we go about making the right choice? And when do we know to speak to a professional? Because we're getting a lot of information here, which makes me feel I can be proactive. When do we know, okay, we need someone holding our hand through this process? And how do we know what approach is going to work for our child?
Yeah, so I think 2 reasons or two pointers to say this is time to go see a doctor is when your child is over the age of 7 and still wetting their bed. So we kind of give between 5 and 7 for that process to mature and physiology to kick in. The other reason I'd go and see a doctor is if your child is having daytime incidents. So remember, we're talking nighttime bedwetting only, but as soon as there's a daytime component, so wetting their pants during the day, daytime accidents, just always in the loo, those we call symptomatic enuresis incidents. And that's something you want to go and see a doctor about. That could be, as I said, diabetes, sickle cell disease, a whole bunch of other things. So daytime incidents, go and see a doctor over the age of 7.
When it comes to the medication, I understand because we had similar sleep issues. We were using kind of the controlling of the melatonin and what's going into the brain, and it works brilliantly. But then you realize at a point that you're kind of not empowering the child and the body to be able to do it for themselves. How do we know when to approach it with medication, and how does that process work?
So again, medication is supporting your child through this season. Their body's naturally maturing.
The body will do it. Yeah,
the body's going to do it. I mean, 1% of kids at the age of 18 are still wetting their bed. So for that 1%, that's terrible, but 99% of kids, it's going to resolve spontaneously. So that's what medication does. It doesn't cure it, it doesn't take it away. It just for that season that they're wetting their bed, allows them to have dry nights, which is improved sleep, you know, less tiredness. It's the same effect that absorbent pants will have on your child.
I love that, just to mitigate the knock-on effect so that there is a lot less trauma.
And I think to tell your kids, we're doing something about this. It's not something like, you know, that's a bit odd. And because often a brother or sister isn't wetting their bed, and now here's this child that is, and what's wrong with me? And I mean, in our family, there was a rule of we don't shame. You know, we talk about it, we deal with this, we're going to get through this together. And again, let your child know they are not alone. One in six kids, that's a lot of kids that are wetting their beds. And again, for moms and dads to also know that there's, because it's often we feel shame and we project it onto our kids.
For sure.
And if you know it's not your kid's fault, it's common in South Africa and they should never be punished, I think that's the biggest lesson here.
The perfect jumping off point. A little less judgment, I think, all round will definitely help out. And then the joy is you start to get, I want to say my age, but our age, and then it starts working in reverse again, and then you're getting up at 4 in the morning. So you can match your bathroom breaks.
That's something we could talk
about. That's for next Tuesday's health discussion. I think the bottom line is keep the baggage at the door. Don't put your baggage on your child. Get practical about it. You can do something about it. Clearly, there are some very practical steps. Just look after each other through the process.
What an important conversation, thanks to the good doc as well as G-Man. Well, the time has come, Zanzi. Earlier on the show, of course, Ral asked you to help him choose between 2 tonal looks. I know it was a tough decision, but you had 2 options. A rust funnel knit with straight leg denims and comfort boots, personally my favorite. And then option 2, I know Zanele was leading towards that, a cable knit cardigan with a tonal flannel, smart trousers and chocolate Chelsea boots. But it's not about about us, we have to actually take a look at the comments in social media to establish a winner. Well, let's have a look. Mbali Khadebe, thank you for getting in touch, saying good morning. Go for option 1. I love it for you. I love that for Al too, personally. Another one from Josephine Pickstone. Option 1 will look so good on our Ryle. It definitely will. We also had Lungile Chabalala getting in touch, saying option 1 would look dope on him. I must agree with you. I think that too. And then, of course, we heard from Ashante Morris. I love your name. Raul should take option 1, the funnel knit, a pair of jeans, and the comfortable boots. Let's have a look to see if this could be our final one. Well, Zolan Martin Cooney says, good morning, family. I'm going for option 1. I think the crowd has spoken, and now we got to see it all on Mr. Ryle himself. Ryle, come on through. Ooh, yes, 201, 80 at 360. You look amazing.
I feel good, and I can't believe some simple items like this can do the most when it comes to bringing out this look. I feel different, like a new person. You know that feeling of like, you know, when you go to a family function and it's just like, it's just not happening. It's not fire. And then that uncle comes through and he's like, all right, I've arrived. Let's go, baby. Let's dance. Who wants it? I feel like that guy.
Uncle.
Thank you, Mzansi. You've made me the life of the party this morning, and that's all thanks to you. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I'm on fire. And
you look like you're on fire. It's bringing out your eye color.
Yeah, and now we've got the perfect match. You see your sultry earrings to go. So we're ready to bring fire through.
Arm in arm.
Actual service.
Well, complete your winter-ready looks with cozy knits and also stylish boots from Woolworths. Shop these looks and more in-store, online, and on the app.
Big love is in the tiny details. Every second, every nook, every stitch. The details make the difference.
Ryle, looking so dapper. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. And honestly, Mzansi, you chose beautifully. However, we still have so much to get into, and I love that Ryle's going to be doing it in style. Ooh, that rhymes, so it must be true. Okay, what else is true is that everything that is coming your way on your Feel Good Breakfast show is going to be absolutely delicious. First and foremost, my friend, we're going to be meeting R&B and hip-hop artist, a rising star. I'm talking about Ricky Tyler ahead of his album release. And then we're also going to be getting into something which I think is so important, which is finding the willpower to stop smoking. It is an important conversation indeed for those who genuinely want to, and I feel like it is something that is so achievable. But getting to hear about the steps, that's where it starts. Do not go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back on the other side of this, my love.
Very dry, tight, sensitive skin. Relieve itchy skin in just 60 seconds with Aveeno's Skin Relief Moisturizing Lotion. Aveeno.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back here on your Feel Good Breakfast show right here on S3. And oh, my lovely, it's always so good to be with you. And this is what I always tell you. We only bring you the best people to get your morning started off on the best note. And this morning, I am talking about an absolute superstar. He's so young, but he's already done so much, having collaborated with some big names in the industry, both nationally and internationally. He is somebody who is about to release a beautiful album. I say that because we've already gotten tastes here and there. He recently dropped a beautiful single, but Happy to Be Alive is out this Friday. And my friend, who am I talking about? Everybody, let's give him a Feel Good Breakfast show welcome. I am talking about Ricky Tyler. Ricky, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm amazing, thank you. Ricky, I want to ask you very quickly because I know that, you know, we've been talking about you all morning because we're so excited to have you with us. I've told people that you're an R&B and hip-hop artist.
Yeah.
But for those who don't 100% know, who is Ricky Tyler?
Singer, songwriter coming out of the East Side. Grew up in Edenville.
Yeah.
Originally from Sprayview. And yeah, I mean, like that's pretty much what I do. I've been doing music for like the past, I'd say we're going on like a good 10 years now. You know?
Really?
So,
and you're so young.
I mean, like, yeah, it's a long game, you know?
Yeah.
It's a long game. So, I mean, like, I got into music when I was like 19, you know?
Really?
Yeah. And I was really inspired from just like, I guess like, friends of mine who got into music, you know, I was just inspired by that whole creative process, you know.
Yeah.
So as soon as I decided to give it a try myself, I guess things changed from there, you know.
Oh, come on. Ricky was like, oh, I'll just give it a try. And then you became a superstar. I love that.
No.
But did your family just accept it from the beginning? You were like, I want to do music. And they were like, go ahead. Because I know for a lot of us, it was like, it's either engineering or medicine. Which one?
Yeah, to be quite honest with you, like, you know, like school wasn't like my strong point, you know what I mean? So like, shout out to my moms though, you know, she was a big part of just like taking me to like these cool like shows, you know, War Seal and Casey and JoJo and like.
Oh,
maybe,
come
like,
on.
Some theater productions and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
So like, I was really like inspired from those moments. Like I kind of tapped into music from there, like when just watching those kind of shows, you know.
Yes.
Felt like that's something I wanted to do, you know. So like I tapped into arts like also from that point, I guess.
That's beautiful. I love that. Shout out to mom indeed.
No, shout out, yeah.
It's not always that, you know, you find parents who are 100% are just investing in what your child is interested in, right? But speaking of being interested, you are someone who doesn't just do the music, you also model, Ricky. You're a schmodel, and you've gone to the likes of New York Fashion Week. Get out of here. How did, like, you know, those opportunities come about, having walked twice for New York Fashion Week?
Okay, so I entered this competition called the Applause Rising Talent Showcase, which is hosted by Kim Myers. And then I got selected to represent the country at an international showcase in Orlando, Florida. So they flew me out to New York and then flew to Orlando, Florida. And then I got signed by an agency called FFT. And then they flew me back to New York, and then they sent me for New York City Fashion Week auditions, and then that's how I booked that. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, I guess we're modeling now.
Oh, wow. I love how you're saying, like, they flew me to New York like it's nothing. Like, I just went to the supermarket.
I mean, like, I wasn't paying for much.
I love it. Come on, must be nice, Ricky. That's amazing. I can imagine. But now speak to us about this, the thing that you do 100% love with all of you, which is music. You dropped Hold On, and people have been loving it. You know, what exactly inspired that song? And also, how has it been for you, having just put it out there?
Yeah, so Hold On is a song I dedicated to my little niece, who went through like some challenging times in her life, you know? So this song was a way of me just saying, just reminding her that like I'm there for her, you know, like no matter what. And also just promoting, just like sticking together with, in terms of family, you know? The last 3 years of my life have been pretty challenging, you know? Like as a family, we've gone through some challenging times, you know? Through like losing my mom to, obviously like achieving some cool milestones, but to taking a break on music, to like coming back to everything. So just going through all these things, you know. And she went through a you know, a very tough time. So I just wanted to kind of just give her some motivation and just remind her, like, you know.
That's so beautiful, Ricky. And I'm so sorry about losing your mom, but would you say that this project that is coming out this Friday is dedicated to her?
Yeah. It's definitely, I guess it's definitely dedicated to the whole process of like, what we faced in the last 3 years, you know, how many things changed. And even like last year, like I experienced like a whole lot of loss, you know, like lost my father as well, but like didn't really develop a relationship with my father, so I didn't get the time to do that. So there was a lot of things that did affect me, you know, but I guess I got to this point where it's like, you know, when you're like standing on at the edge of a cliff and like everything kind of fades, you know. So I was just like happy to be alive in that moment. So I just developed an overwhelming sense of gratitude and just like started to appreciate the little things, you know, more in my life.
Beautiful.
You know? Yeah, so that's the vibe there.
That's beautiful. And thank you for actually, you know, not just doing that, I think pouring it into your work, because I feel that that allows so many people to feel so much, but also just being able to share that. I think like you free so many people in doing that. So thank you so much for that.
Appreciate that.
And also we can't wait for you to perform.
Sir.
Expresso family, he is not going anywhere. He is going to be showing you exactly what he is made of. I know that you will love him if you don't know him just yet. And if you do know him, I know you're super excited, just like I am. But I also know the Cape Town family is excited because Ricky Tyler's in the building, baby. My Graham as well as you, my Carissa. What is going on, my lovelies? And forgive me, it's Ral and Carissa. Hi, honeys.
Yeah, doesn't matter who it is in the studio right now. We are all more than excited. I think that was an understatement. Oh, I can't wait to see that performance. And I'm going to keep that excitement going right now. And talking of 67 million rand, that should get you excited because that is the total estimated Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots that could be yours and the tickets to the millions this Tuesday. And that's right, Mzansi, you can play Powerball for an estimated 62 million rand, Powerball Plus for an estimated 5 million rand. But as always, if you want to win, you're going to have to play.
You're going to have to do the things, man. But you can buy your tickets today in store and on nationallottery.co.za, also on the website, or you can head over to the mobile app. You can also buy tickets through cell phone banking. How easy is that? Or by simply dialing *120 *7529# for USSD.
It really is that simple. And we made it even easier for you because we posted all these details on our Expresso social media pages. So go check them out right now. You want to ponder, push or play a Powerball Plus for 67 million rand in total estimated jackpots today. And that could be yours and only if you get involved in this game. It's so much money.
Of course, that represents the short game. Let's look at the long game of life. Are you a smoker right now? Do you desperately wish you could overcome this hurdle and just haven't found the right tools, maybe the willpower? But we've got a whole couch, a whole panel ready to help you find the right motivation. Some who have proven that it is possible, smoking 2 packs a day, yo. And of course, generally, Steve rocks up with a python or a poisonous viper. We're going to get into how pets can affect our mental health. Maybe not snakes, but I think all pets can have a positive impact on our world. We'll delve into just how after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yep, hitting the reset button in life is sometimes the best thing you can do. And in your journey to try to quit smoking, that reset button has the ability to change your life for the better. In fact, it could be the most important health decision you have ever made. Everybody, I think, has a different road to reaching that successful outcome. It's going to be completely different. So we're not going to blanket this with one approach, but get into the mindset. And if you need some motivation, some advice, just a community who knows how you feel right now, then please help me welcome our panel of experts coming from all varying degrees here. I absolutely love it. So we've got Steve Mechen, former smoker and handler of snakes, yes, as we know on the show. Dr. Leila Kasim, general practitioner, who has never smoked a day in her life and is nearly 40. I'm sorry that I'm saying that out loud, but just look at the state of her skin. Then we've got the gorgeous Nikki Taylor, one of my absolute besties here, who's trying to quit smoking amidst this crazy industry. And then Yasmin Gaby, the registered counsellor, hopefully to pick up the pieces of our psychology as we all fall apart trying to figure this one out, because it's big and it can change the trajectory of your life. I say that to you, Nikki, because all of this is going to fall on you as the one we're trying to motivate. It's okay. But I'm gonna start with you, Steve, because normally you make us want to have a cigarette every time you come here just from stress because you're bringing poisonous snakes and things. But you were smoking 2 packs a day.
Yeah, it was heavy.
Were you forced to stop? Because that's says to me at some point your health is going to crumble. Why change?
No, I changed, but it was purely just my own decision. Me and my father were having a conversation about vaping, and he stopped smoking 11 years ago, which is fantastic, and he started vaping. So I said to him, I put the point to him that he swapped one habit for the other. To prove a point, I put down the cigarettes and I went cold turkey. So I did that on the 9th of February, and here we are, still going strong.
Sheer pig-headedness. That's why you did this, just to prove your dad wrong. I love that, man. No, that whatever motivation you need. Congratulations, dude.
Thanks.
Because that's a lot, and it's going to affect your health.
It does.
And you feel it when you stop, and you suddenly see your lungs wake up again. Not in a huge amount of time. The recovery process is great. Doc, tools to use, physical tools, because we know that this is a physical thing that's going on. We love to make it emotional, but it's a physical thing that our body is craving. What tools have worked well in your space?
So essentially, you know, there is a pharmacological and non-pharmacological aspects of managing or assisting someone to stop smoking. But I always say that it's not only about what we can offer as GPs, it's about the patient. So for your, in terms of your example, you stopped and it was your decision. And I feel like it's important for the patient to have insight and information of risks, of dangers associated with smoking, and that sort of helps you make your decision, having the insight and knowing what smoking can do to the body and how it can affect the body.
It's almost like there are a number of ways that'll work, and proven track records. But if you don't get the motivation right, none of them will actually work.
Exactly.
Nikki,
yeah, well.
Why do you want to stop? Let's start there, because clearly you are motivated to want to stop. What is that? Is it a fear? Are you just sick of it?
It's not good for your body. Nothing about it is healthy or good for you. Not for me or anyone around me. My partner has asthma, so it kind of plays on that as well.
And she might have forced you to come on the show today.
Just a little bit.
She plays in our space 100%. As well. So why was this now the time to do it, and why can't you? Why haven't you stopped?
Why not now?
Yeah.
Why any other time? Why haven't I stopped? I think I work in a high-stress environment.
Yeah.
And it is a crutch to me. And it's also really a bad habit. I did stop for about 3 years previously until I came back into this
into our beautiful, crazy world.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, why not now?
Well done, you. Well done. And you've got people around you, and no judgment. I think that's going to be the word of the day, is judgment, because that seems to come in before we find solutions to things far often, when we put all of our baggage on family members, friends, partners that are wanting to do it. The psychological element here was the tipping point for Nikki. Why is the psychology behind smoking almost as important as the physiology? How do you approach this in your space? Where do you normally start the journey?
I think it's always obviously with the self, right? The idea of me and the impact that I think Nikki would give up smoking because it impacts your life in some way. And how does it impact your life? And that's where the self comes in. And the big word you use is judgment. It's self-judgment. I think the biggest thing we have to look at here is the shame factor.
Yeah.
Like how much shame we go into the spiral once we... and I always say, forgive yourself and start again, right? That's the whole point here, is that you'll spiral out, but you need to bring yourself back in. How quick can you get back on that horse, you know, metaphorically? So it's not so much about giving up, but starting over and over till you can.
Yeah.
So
and every day becomes that, because it's one of those things, unfortunately, that doesn't go away once you've quit. I'm sure there must be moments where you are like, oh, you catch a whiff on the wind, or you have a stressful day, you maybe take one too many bites and you're like, did I milk that cobra or not before this? I'm not sure. But have you had those dark moments where you have transgressed or
Most
been
definitely.
close?
Well, I've been close quite a few times, especially when you walk past a building and somebody's outside smoking and you smell it. When you first stopped, the temptation to start smoking again is very strong. But I was speaking to a friend of mine last night, and she's been stopped for 25 years, and she said she still feels like that.
Wow.
So I don't think that ever goes away, but it's a willpower thing. So I think that's where the psychology comes in, because you would have to just remind yourself, no, I don't do that anymore, and remind yourself of the reasons why, you know, health benefits and whatever motivated you to stop in the first place. Keep that in your mind, and when you get those moments, just let that override the feeling to want to
And
pick it up
you
again.
start to feed off that feeling of success, where it becomes less judgment and more like, wow, I'm doing it again. Oh, I'm having another day. Another day. This is 2 weeks. And your lungs will thank you for it.
Exactly.
Physically, what happens to your body when you smoke for a long time?
So there are so many things. Smoking can affect your lungs. That's the first thing we think of, because you're inhaling the tobacco, the nicotine. And I just want to say something about nicotine. Nicotine, that's what makes you addicted. It releases dopamine from your brain, and that makes you feel good. So that's why people are addicted to smoking. Well, that's an element as to why they crave smoking, because it makes them feel good. But talking about side effects and risks, so smoking can affect your skin. It can cause an increased risk of developing cancer, specifically lung cancers. And one of the greatest risk factors for any cardioembolic event, such as strokes and heart attacks, is smoking. So stop smoking and you can reduce your risk by 2 to 4 times.
Wow.
It's very important.
Maybe we should start with that. You can decrease the risk of yourself dying very, very dramatically. And it's crazy for us to say this, because I've been a smoker throughout my life at different times because of this industry as well. So, Nikki, I get you. There's a zero judgment in that space. It requires then a toolkit to use, I would say, psychologically. What's the first step?
I think the main thing to realize is, you said the feeling of success. The feeling of success is just a chemical in your body called dopamine, right? It's just that.
You can get it from somewhere else.
Exactly. It's healthier ways of increasing your dopamine. So when you're taking that cigarette, your cup is empty, essentially. So all you're doing is you're going to fill up your cup. So if you figure out how to fill the dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, we're not looking a full cup, we're just looking this much, a quarter way. It gives you enough to be able to sustain whatever's going on. Because essentially smoking is a dummy, right? If you think about it,
it's a crutch, for sure.
like if you look at it as a pacifier, you're just doing something in that minute to comfort yourself. So what can you do in that space to comfort yourself? It's as simple as that, but I mean, simple but not easy, right?
For sure. Like all the greatest things in life, a worthwhile shift must come at a cost, at a challenge, and you've got this. So basically, next, all we need to do is just make this entire industry a little bit less stressful, and we're fine. I think we're both going to be okay. Bottom line, get judgment out of the equation. As much as you are angry with yourself for doing the damage that you've done, you can address that, reverse it dramatically fast, but you need to make that decision. Quitting smoking is potentially the most important decision that you could ever make when you look at the consequences of not doing it. And that's for your health, for your overall well-being. And thanks to Nicorette, you have the best partner and community of people around you to get you through even the toughest of moments. We've got your back.
Absolutely. So grateful for that conversation, and I hope it's possibly inspired you to do the most on your journey. For now, though, we journey into official duties, and it's just gone 1 minute past the hour and time for national headlines. Now, as SA holds its 7th democratic elections tomorrow, voters will for the first time receive 3 ballot papers instead of 2. Now, the Electoral Commission, otherwise known as the IEC, has urged voters to carefully review and mark each of these 3 ballot papers before depositing them in the ballot box. Now, the appeal to voters is to remember that they can only put one mark on each ballot, and more than one mark will result in a spoiled vote and not counted. I'll carry on with the national headlines, and meanwhile, the IEC says there were some insignificant challenges on the first day that South Africans could cast special votes in this year's election. Now, Deputy Chief Electoral Officer Masego Shiburi said there were 435 polling stations, of which 107 were unable to unlock. Now, Shiburi said the IEC was now working with security structures to ensure that those entitled to vote can do so tomorrow. Our National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola has since announced that an additional 500 members of public order policing have been deployed to various parts where there were problems yesterday. Well, we now move over to international headlines, and European and Arab governments have strongly condemned Israel's bombing of parts of the city of Rafah in Gaza. Now, some 45 people died in a fire in a camp for the uprooted, which broke out after the airstrikes. Now, the Israeli army says it was a precision attack in which it targeted a Hamas stronghold. Now, it has been reported that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said yesterday that, and quote, a tragic mistake, unquote, was made in an Israeli attack in the southern Gaza city of Rafah that set fire to a camp housing displaced Palestinians. Well, next up, an Egyptian soldier has been killed in an incident involving Egyptian and Israeli troops. Now, this in the border area near Rafah. Now, the Egyptian and Israeli militaries are investigating what happened, and tensions between Egypt and Israel have heightened since Israeli forces took control of the Gazan side of the Rafah crossing point 3 weeks ago as part of their offensive against Hamas. Now, Egypt is a strong supporter of the Palestinians and has condemned Israel's military campaign in Gaza and the killing of thousands of civilians in the war. Lastly, the Department of Water and Sanitation in Gauteng is urging local high schools to join the SA Youth Water Prize competition, highlighted at the recent District ESCOM Expo at Johannesburg's Cy Bono Discovery Centre. Now, this exciting competition aims to enlighten learners and society about water resource management, covering efficiency, quality monitoring, resource protection, public health, hygiene, and invasive species. Now, it's open to grades 9, 10, and 11, and it encourages innovative projects to address community water and sanitation issues. Now, the competition progresses from provincial to national levels, culminating globally in Stockholm, Sweden. Now, Portulo Alicia of the department's Gauteng office said that participating empowers youth as future water leaders and nurtures a new generation of problem solvers, boosting their educational and career prospects. I absolutely love this message, and I definitely encourage you all to get involved in it. But for now, though, let's get involved in the sport. And here's G-Man with the latest.
Thank you so much, Roll. Let's start with the guy who ruined just about everyone's season this year. Unai Emery has now signed a new 5-year contract with Aston Villa, and understandably so. The former Arsenal and Sevilla manager guided Villa to a historic 4th-place Premier League finish, securing Champions League football for the first time in the club's history. So Emery, of course, replaced Steven Gerrard in October of 2022 after winning the Europa League with Villarreal, in his 4th triumph in the competition following 3 victories with Sevilla as well. He has his place at the helm. Now let's move to Chelsea, North London, and find out who is taking over. And talks are in effect to name Leicester City's Enzo Maresca as their new head coach. At least that's according to British media reports. So the Italian, who once worked as Pep Guardiola's assistant at Man City, successfully led Leicester back to the Premier League after their relegation last year. Quite a feat. His tactical approach and style of play have obviously impressed Chelsea's decision makers, and he could be unveiled as their new manager in the coming days. I think the writing is on the wall. Now let's turn to tennis. And Iga Swiatek, she kicked off her quest for a 4th French Open title with a dominant 6-1, 6-2 victory over local French qualifier Leolia Jean-Jean. Coco Gauff, the 3rd seed and US Open champion, she secured her 50th victory in a Grand Slam by defeating Russian qualifier Yulia Avdiva 6-1, 6-1 in 52 minutes. So Gauff will now face Slovenian qualifier Tamara Zidansek. Now let's let's look at the men's side of the draw. And mixed feelings about this one. Rafa Nadal's illustrious French Open career likely concluded yesterday with the first raising questions about his future in tennis. But I think he's still got a few more rounds in him. And that's where we leave our sport for now, at least for this hour. Let's get an update on the roads that should be waking up.
Well, thank you, G-Man, for all things to do with sports. Let's have a look at, of course, at your roads. Out in Germiston in Johannesburg, there is congestion on the N3 northbound between Van Buren Interchange and Geldenhuys Interchange. So please do expect delays and remember to always drive carefully. Well, let's have a look at what is happening in your weather. The SA... The SA Weather Service has issued a warning for extremely high fire danger conditions, which can be expected over the north-central parts of the Northern Cape Province today. The Weather Service has meanwhile said that at this stage, voting day tomorrow is expected to remain dry and rain-free countrywide. Although a cold front is moving closer to the Western Cape, current numeric weather prediction models indicate that rainfall associated with the arrival of the cold front will only occur after tomorrow. It has, in fact, recommended that voters and election officials be cognizant of the predominantly sunny conditions forecast for large parts of the country. Well, let's have a look at those sunrise views, Mzansi. Thank you so much for sharing yours. And yesterday we were in the Western Cape. Today we move over to Gauteng. And Vanessa, of course, has shared this beautiful, beautiful sunrise view, which looks like she might either be at home or at work, clocking in early. Do remember to share your morning views with us on 063 408 8863. Let's have a look at your temperatures to see what you can expect.
Well, it looks like the temperatures are getting a little bit closer to winter, but don't worry, we've still got so much on your Feel Good Breakfast show to warm you up. See what I did there? There's a lot to look forward to, of course. We are making something in the kitchen along the lines of some cheeseburgers, but even more comforting is the fact that pets can be the impactor of our mental health. And after we've chowed something lekker, we're going to talk about exactly that. And we brought in some of the cutest fur babies you can think of. Look at these incredible souls. We're going to be talking about how our pets can, again, positively impact our mental health. So Mzansi, come through. It's going to be a whole load of cuteness right after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And if you're feeling a little bit low today, I think this next conversation and topic is definitely going to lift up our spirits, especially our mental health. We're going to be acknowledging mental health awareness right now, especially considering that it is still May. And we're also going to be acknowledging the important role of our furry friends and how they play in helping us cope with the day-to-day stresses that we all have to deal with. Now, from morning snuggles to evening strolls and loyal companionship, I think our pets enrich our lives in more ways than we can think, right? So we've got an incredible panel here. We've got pet owner Lindy Peters, and we've got life coach Kalika Morris, along with pet behaviorist Carice Nafte in the building, and they've also brought along their furry companions. So let me first say good morning to the ladies. How are we doing?
Good morning.
And then can I say good morning to your furry companions as well? Do you want to maybe introduce each of them? Lindy,
Yes,
you wanna go
sure.
first?
This is Mademoiselle Lulabelle.
Mademoiselle Lulabelle. All right, very
yes.
fitting, like a queen. And then we've got over here, Kalika.
This floof ball is Snow.
Snow, the floof ball, all right?
Yes.
Then,
Hi.
Hi, floof ball. And then, Carice, who do we have here?
I've got Bear with me this morning.
We all remember
Yes,
Bear. Bear's
Bear.
like family for us right now. Lindy, maybe I can dive straight into this conversation because right now, just sitting here, being around animals for me, look at me smiling. Look at the energy. The whole environment has constantly changed. For you being someone that I think is a human being going through all these crazy challenges in life, how's this little fur baby helping you? Especially with that little tongue. Look at the tongue out the mouth. Apart from just making us laugh and smile, what is it doing for your emotion, really?
Absolutely. I mean, yes, the dogs really, they know how to reduce anxiety and stress levels. We found it out a couple of years ago when my son was diagnosed with a PTSD.
Oh, wow. Okay.
After the loss of one of our pets,
Oh,
funny
no.
enough. So then you actually realize that the impact that pets have on a family. And then he went through a rough time, and we had little Mr. Miyagi that everybody knows. And then he started showing, you know, he can actually decrease the anxiety and depression. And with him being constantly around Marcel, that actually worked, and he started becoming an ESA pet, emotional support pet. And then Lulabelle joined us a couple of years ago after the loss of a human, and she was trained to be a deep therapy pet, what do you call it? Deep pressure therapy.
Oh, so this is not just like
it's a whole mouthful.
It's not just like my dog is this thing. They actually train
they
and go
actually
through.
some
Oh,
of the
wow.
emotional support pets are not always necessarily trained. They
Yeah.
are the ones that show emotion. They're not service dogs that can access everything, but they're there to show compassion and, you know, be there for children or humans.
Oh, conversations have
Conversation starter. So they are there to, you know, reduce anxiety and depression and all those kind of things. So Lulabelle was then trained a little bit more to be a therapy dog, and her owner had cancer. So obviously she was trained to recognize the signs of depression. And yeah.
Amazing. I just thought that you'd come home and looking at the face is the reason why, but there's
Well,
actually
that
so
too.
much more that goes into this. Hey, little cutie, you just are so special. All right, so with that being said, I know that especially when we look at things like this floof ball Snow over here, these are puppies that are definitely going to keep you active. Looking after an animal keeps you on your toes. It keeps us active as well. I'm sure you're going through that right now, Kalika.
No, definitely.
Yeah?
It's potty training, it's teething, it's all sorts running around in the middle of the night. So yeah.
But this is something that could sometimes overwhelm us. But it seems that with animals, this doesn't seem to be the case. We put up with so much, we go through so much so willingly, and seem to kind of laugh at the end of some of the craziest situations. You ever find yourself in those situations?
No, definitely. This morning he decided to chew his leg because it's a new thing. It's a leg, but let's chew it. So yeah.
I think he's discovering these new cute parts of his own body, and he's like, oh, what's that?
No, definitely.
Chris, from the side of someone being more of a behaviorist, in terms of the real effect that's happening here, what's going on? We're talking about maybe some surface stuff here, for me especially when I just talk about the emotion, but there's real deeper work happening here in terms of the support these dogs are offering us, our pets, in terms of what they can assist us with in what we're going through. Can you maybe highlight more about this?
I think to me, the most important thing when you have a dog and you're working with any kind of emotional thing is to make sure what you're asking of the dog is realistic.
Okay.
So I do get some people who have a bit of a fantasy about, well, I'm going to get this dog and it's going to just automatically make my life better. But if it's the wrong dog, it can be a little bit, almost the opposite thing can happen. So the most important thing when you're looking for a dog to fill this role is you got to make sure you got the right dog. Because even though they all look different, their personalities are just as different. So when you have the right dog in the right context, it's wonderful. Everything is better with the right dog, but with the wrong dog, it can make life a little bit stressful. So that's my caution in this conversation, is to do your research and make sure you're asking of a dog something it can handle. Like Bear here is a great lap dog. As you can see, he's a professional lap dog. That's his job.
A professional lap dog and being so incredibly at it as well.
Exactly.
For you, just in general, and I know we have briefly touched on this, but how do you feel that, maybe personally, I need to touch on you on a different story, how are each of these moments being with your animals? Is it reducing anxiety? Is it genuinely giving you a better feeling? Or, I mean, we can be honest here and say, look, it is a bit overwhelming, but there's a silver lining. How is it personally affecting you right now?
No, sure. I mean, Shizzy, just imagine having a bad day at work or sitting in traffic all day. You get home, there's a fur ball meeting you at the door. It's just that kind of compassion. It's unconditional. So they come and they love you, they sit with you, and you can just sit and relax. Absolutely. I mean, all they want is love. So, I mean, Lula Bell, she's a professional napper, so she usually falls asleep on the job. So.
A lap sitter, a napper, and a floofer. I love it. Yes. All the specialists. Listen, there's so much to talk about, and there's also so much in the world of pets, and there's a great comfort knowing that I think we have products that also are assisting and allowing us to enjoy these moments even more. And I mean, caring for our companions who care for us, right? We've got NexGuard, which has our furry friends covered, I think. We've got an incredible range, which is the global #1 pet parasite and parasiticide in sales. Now, this is something that you can guard them from when it comes to parasites inside and out, and that's with the most complete parasite protection range. And it's also available in a tasty monthly chew that dogs just love. Now, on top of this, the NexGuard range also offers the right dose and right protection from fleas, ticks, mites, and worms. And I mean, there's more than 980 million doses sold worldwide and counting. So clearly they're getting something right. Now, NexGuard and NexGuard Spectre are also available in a convenient 1-month or 3-month protection pack. So it's not just the fur balls that are here right now, but the fact that we can keep that magic happening all throughout, and having products like NexGuard, I think, allows this cuteness to just keep going on. Guys, thank you so much for bringing your loved ones through and sharing the effect with them, Zanzi. I think everybody just looking at them right now like, oh, the emotions has changed. So thank you. And I really, truly wish you nothing but the best of memories and magic that you have with these loved ones. Look at them.
Thank you very much.
Look at this sitting. Guys, I can't get enough. I need to stop this. Listen, as you can clearly see, we are all about spreading the love now. A great opportunity here is for you, Mzansi, because one lucky viewer stands the chance of winning themselves 2,000 Rand. And that's the cash prize to enjoy with their furry friend, as well as maybe a surprise goodie too. Yes, now to become a winner, simply reply to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, X, or Instagram pages and tell us why your dog is your guardian of love. And don't forget to include the hashtag NexGuard and the hashtag Guardians of Love in your answer. And a reminder, the competition closes at midday this Friday, the 31st of May. Your T's and C's do apply and can be found at expressoshow.com. All right, I'm done working. I want to play the dogs now. Hey, little cuties. Actually, so cute, hey.
Well, good morning to you, Mzansi. I'm so excited to be in the kitchen once again. It's starting to feel familiar, and we're going to cook something so incredibly delicious today. I'm sure the little fur friends are going to want to be here with us, but we, of course, need to get into International Burger Day. And we're bringing together two of your favorites into one. We're creating a crispy pie that has the insides of a cheeseburger. Have you ever? Well, you want to follow along to see exactly how we get involved in this, but I'm not alone in the kitchen. Of course, I have got celebrity chef and cookbook author who is no stranger to our kitchen. We've got Chef Jenny Morris with us. Welcome, Jenny. Thank you for being here. What an interesting combination of things we're going to be doing today.
I mean, I really do like a burger.
Yeah, me
I like
too.
a burger, and I'm terrible. Normally, I fling all the pastry or bread or whatever away, but I have
the patty is your favorite part.
Well, yes, and pastry is my weakness. So normally, as I say, I peel it back. I do layers. So are we gonna Are we going to
We're gonna do this, I think. I think you should take the lead on the cooking.
I'm gonna
and then
show
I'll
you,
follow
girl.
your instruction over here, okay? So
Okay.
we've got some mayo, caramelized onions,
Gherkins?
That's what they're
Yeah.
called. The burger patties, and we're gonna cook one
Yes.
for you, and some cheese.
Yes, but we're not going to overcook this patty because remember it's going to go twice. How do you like your
Okay.
meat? Well done, rare?
If it's a steak, I would go medium, right?
Okay.
Because I wanted to have a nice soft texture in my mouth.
Okay.
Burger patty, you don't have to cook that all the way, you say?
No, I'm going to give it colour, a little bit of caramelization. So while that's heating, I'm
Yes, what
bringing
can I
you
do?
to my pastry.
Please tell me what to
So
do.
over here, can you measure?
No.
Come on, you can
I will try for
measure.
you. Okay.
Yeah,
What?
of course
So
you
we're
can.
creating
We're doing
squares.
that. Yes, a square.
Okay.
So I want you to cut this into 4.
Okay.
we're
Thank
gonna
you
go
for
into
marking
4.
it for me.
There we go. Well, I don't know. That's more like an oblong, but we can roll it out a little bit.
Okay, so we're making our way across and down.
And you're going to go 4 ways.
4 ways.
And I, in the meantime,
Yes.
am going to just get this patty sizzling away in the pan and just give it a little bit of colour.
Okay, so how many minutes would you say on each side?
Literally like 30 seconds on each
Okay.
side because it's going to overcook, and especially if you like medium, you're going to want to.
A dry burger is no one's
Yes.
favorite, is it?
No, but while that burger is
Yes,
cooking,
tell
I've
me.
already made one. So
Okay.
we're going to go down. with
Okay,
our
in the
burger.
center
In
with
the
the
center,
pastry.
Mrs. Fanta, let's put a couple of pieces of
The gherkin, in. I do love a gherkin on a burger. It adds a
yes.
nice freshness.
And
hey?
it gives you lovely texture, which I love.
Yes.
Now
What's your favorite topping for a burger?
Cheese.
Yeah,
And I'm
classic.
greedy, so I'm going to give you lots of cheese.
Yes, please.
So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go upside down.
Okay. Love
So
that.
just so we can have more
Tell me
cheese.
we're getting another one on top. Yes. Oh, another
Now,
2.
You can decide. Do you like it on top or do you like it inside?
Well,
I'm a kind of an inside and on top girl, so I'm going to have some mayo inside.
I'm going with what you're doing. I'll have what you're having. Okay, cool. So we're going with mayonnaise.
Yes.
And how do we put it all together?
Well, no, because see, I'm greedy. I've overfilled it, but it doesn't matter.
But here's the question. When you throw
Yeah.
it in the oven and
Yes.
it's a little bit overfilled, how do you make sure it doesn't come out on the sides?
Well, we're going to just stretch this a little bit.
Stretch
you
the
could actually roll it a little bit.
Okay.
So we're going to do that.
I'm not that good with pastries, I won't lie.
You're going to be, listen, you can buy pastry these days.
Okay, so we don't have to
So-
be sweating in the kitchen.
No, not at all.
Absolutely love that.
Now you're going to just take your egg.
Yes.
Don't you want caramelized onion?
How can we forget the onion?
onion.
I
There.
love onion.
Me too.
Okay, let me fold these up
Close.
again.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
A
gonna
bit of
just-
egg wash on the
bit
top
of
so
egg
that it
wash.
gets like golden brown.
Well, hello, she says she can't cook. Now brush this baby.
Let me brush it for you.
You brush that baby. I'm going to flip my burger.
I just want to impress you. That's all it is,
I'm very
Jenny.
impressed. There we go. That's going off. It's done and dusted.
Perfecto. How much egg wash? Just like
You want to
I'm
do
going crazy.
No, it's
Okay.
not. It's nice. We want to press down the sides.
Okay, we're getting involved here.
Yeah, very involved
Yeah.
here. Aren't you lucky we have some made up front? Just go like this. And
I'll lift it up for you and squeeze them on the
yes, because you don't want
sides.
any of that escaping.
Okay.
And you could make this like very pretty on top as well. Just make sure that that is sealed and it's done, and then we can flip it over. You can
This
take
one's
the fork.
rustic. We'll say this one's mine, okay?
Of course it's yours, darling. It's not mine.
Okay, cool. We flip it over and then we put it which way? Down. This way down?
I would do. You know, you could make some beautiful trellis work on top of that burger. You just do this.
Show me how to do that.
Just crimp that. You do
Okay.
that. Do
Oh,
that.
we are learning in the kitchen today. I absolutely love
And I
it.
think I'd like some seeds on there.
Okay.
That's
So
what
we've
I'm
got
gonna
some
do.
black sesames that we can
Yes.
add to the top of this.
And
And the
then-
flour. What is
Yes.
the use of that?
Well, that normally you would dust on the bottom, but you know
Oh.
what? We could really turn this into Georgie Porgy pudding and pie. We can hide that
Please.
funny little seal.
Is it
couldn't
still
we?
mine though? Can I claim this?
You can claim it. Give it a paint. Paint your wagon a little bit
love
a
it.
little bit onto
Egg
that.
wash? Okay, cool.
You see, there's always a way out.
Ugh, put the egg everywhere.
There we go.
Gorgina, I absolutely
it.
love that. I don't know if you've been following along, but if you've missed anything that we've said right now, do make sure you head over to our website. It is, of course, expresso.co.za for all. Expresso.com for all the goodness. So the finished product looks like this over here.
It can look like anything. You take that recipe and you own it. It belongs to you.
Absolutely love that. I definitely want to give that a bite. So
Okay.
while we do that, make sure that Zanele, I know your mouth is watering right now. We'll be back with her, and Jenny and I will have a taste of our goodness.
Carissa,
Carissa, you have no idea. I have been telling everyone here in Johannesburg, I need a burger right now, particularly the one that you guys are making. It looks absolutely delicious. Oh my goodness. However, I need you to just like enjoy it on my behalf so that I can live vicariously through you, okay? We're going to be getting into so much more on top of that delicious burger, Expresso family. But first and foremost, I need you to stick around because we've got some secrets that are going to make that beautiful throat of yours feel absolutely lovely, because nobody likes a sore throat, you know what I mean? So we want to give you some tips on how to get rid of it very, very quickly. But somebody who never has any issues with this, because he has the voice of an angel and honestly the creative mind of a superstar. I'm talking about Ricky Tyler. He's going to be performing right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back on the other side of this.
Drained? Dehydrated? You have lost more than just fluid. Recover faster. Add Rehydrate, SA's #1 oral electrolyte mixture.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, let's be honest, and I say this with a very wry smile, if you have been affected like this at a crunch moment, but there is never a good time for that tickly, scratchy, itchy sore throat to kick in. But what if it sneaks up on you at a time when you've got to actually talk, like be on national TV, maybe do that presentation that's going to change your life with the most important client you've ever netted? Imagine you're a TV presenter on a morning breakfast show and it happens to you live. Well, this does happen almost daily during the winter season, and luckily we have got Chris Brassel here from Adcock Ingram OTC here to guide us on how best to handle this in the moment. Maybe preventatively, yes, we wish we could get there, but around this time of the year, Chris, often it's too late and it just climbs on us. Luckily, Over the Counter is there to help us. So much science, so much research and development goes into these amazing products. How does Over the Counter step in to help us in these dire times?
As you say, Graham, we're always there. Adcock Ingram OTC has a vast range of products to treat the symptoms very familiar to cold and flu sufferers. But particularly with the sore throat, as you say, that's usually the first symptom you experience, and it just it's not there 1 minute and all of a sudden you can barely swallow. So I'm very happy to say we have a range in pharmacy. It's a Schedule 1 product called Medikil A. And it's available in either a lozenge format or in a spray solution. So we have something that you can use, can be suitable for adults as well as children from the age of 6 years old.
Oh, brilliant. So let's start with the lozenge, because I think there's a psychosomatic connection to the lozenge. We kind of expect it to soothe us. And that's often the first thing you need, is just to feel a little bit better so you can carry on.
Absolutely. So the lozenge is available in 3 flavors. We have original, which is basically a spearmint, peppermint taste, and then we have honey and lemon, or we have black currant. Now the lozenge has 3 properties. It's antibacterial, antifungal, and it also contains a local anesthetic. And this actually causes a numbing feeling in both your mouth and your throat. And that's particularly helpful, especially when you're swallowing. And you almost sit there dreading to swallow because you know how painful it can be.
Like razor blades.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you need to raise the bar. Medikil, I love the fact that you're covering both bases. The spray hits on another level. Talk me through how effective that is.
So that's almost immediate reaction, because you spray it into your oral cavity, and there it has antibacterial and it has analgesic properties as well as the local anesthetic. And that actually works quite quickly in assisting you. And I think just the fact that you feel the spray in your mouth, psychologically, you believe, okay, this is going to help me. So with that numbing feeling being, coming into effect, I think it just automatically makes you feel better.
And this seems to be, I think, the real bonus here, the superpower with Medikil, that it approaches it from different angles. How would you sum up this kind of approach? Because this is a heavy hitter in the OTC space.
So I think it's quite important to realize that you can purchase this at the OTC counter, over-the-counter medication.
Love that.
It is a Schedule 1. It is a medicated product containing active ingredients which are antibacterial, antifungal, as well as numbing, causing a numbing feeling for you. And it's available for adults and children from the age of 6 years old. So you have an option if you prefer to suck a lozenge every 2 to 3 hours if needed, or you want to have the spray that you can just carry in your pocket and use as and when necessary. It's a great product, easily available, and at all your local pharmacies.
I love how committed you guys are on this front line. You speak to a massive ecosystem that is keeping South Africa in the game. So, Chris, I love you for that. Thank you so much. Stay healthy. And, of course, we want to give you guys at home a few more tools to use to fight back those winter blues. You stand the chance of winning a 4,000 Rand cash prize with Medikil A. So we want to know, when you wake up with a sore throat, when the doom and gloom starts to sink in, what is your go-to flavor? Especially if you've tasted it, we want to know how good it is. And you've got to tell us your answer using the qualifying hashtag #AdcocOTCWinter so that we know you are taking part. Don't forget it. And that competition closes Monday, the 3rd of June. So not a huge amount of time. And I think we're going to get a lot of entries for this one. So make it good. You can find all the T's and C's at expressoshow.com. Chris, we love you, you and your team, and how much effort you put in. Thank you so, so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You're still on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3, and my lovely, one of the most beautiful ways in which we get you into your day is we bring you superstars. Now, we're talking about the people who use their voices to heal us, to allow us to feel something, and more than anything else, allow us to have a good time. Now, we've been tackling sore throats and everything. I told you that this is someone who never has to ever have a sore throat, but then again, I thought about it, and he's probably the one who has it the most. Why? Because he's always working so hard to make us happy with his music. However, he always finds that relief, the way in which we're telling you can this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Everybody, please put your hands together for the superstar. That is Ricky Tyler with his song, Hold On.
Yeah. I watched you make a move, and now you screwed. So much of life in you. He buried you. Now she's dropping out of school. Got some babies on the roof. Run away, run away, run away when I call you a liar. Never know when you're telling me the truth, when you blink and you're right. Every time that I leave, you go back to the same old place I found you. same old place I found you. No one else could find you. So hold on. The times when you can't make your mind up. Hold on. When you got no one else beside you. Hold on. When you keep running away to find love, I hope you find a reason. Hope you find a reason. There's a time and a place to be young, to be wild, to be free. Never know when to stop, you were gone for a couple of weeks, yeah. You was out and about when you're supposed to be falling asleep. I could tell you don't like to be home. Better find your feet, man. Find your feet, man. Swim in the deep end. Silent, no, silent treatment. Tired of speaking, so tired of preaching. Every time that I leave, you go back to the same old place I found you. Same old place I found you. But no one else could find you. So hold on. The times when you can't make your mind up. Hold on. And you got no one else beside you. Hold on. When you keep running away to find love, I hope you find a reason. Hope you find a reason. Hold on. The times when you can't make your mind up. Hold on. And you got no one else beside you. Hold on. When you keep running away to find love, I hope you find a reason. Hope you find a reason. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, baby. Hold on. Baby. Oh, baby. Hold on. Say what?
Everybody make some noise! Oh my goodness, did I not tell you he's talented? His name is Ricky Tyler. He has got a beautiful project coming out this weekend. It is called How to Be Alive, or Happy to Be Alive, forgive me. That's it. And it is honestly something that I know we're all going to enjoy so much. But Expresso family, I also got to tell you what else you're going to be enjoying right here on S3. First and foremost, we're going to be finding out about a doctor's journey to discovering what truly matters. And for me, I'm like, whoa, that's going to get deep because doctors go through so much. So stick around for that, yeah? Then we're also going to be getting into yet another recipe. And for me, I just, my mouth waters just listening to this. A crispy chicken Asian burger. It all sounds like a delicious amalgamation of just all of these different, tastes and things like that. So don't go anywhere. It's going to be coming up here on Expresso. We're going to take a short break, but we're going to be back in a little bit. See you after this.
Bake more memories with Royal Baking Powder, and you could win your own KitchenAid stand mixer. Be a part of the Tastemaster competition action by watching the show and baking a creative interpretation of the week's theme using Royal Baking Powder. Then upload it to socials by replying to the competition post, including hashtag the Tastemaster SA and hashtag Bake More Memories. Don't miss the Tastemaster SA every Tuesday evening at 7, repeat Wednesday at 1 and Sundays at 4 p.m. on SABC2.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, welcome back, Mzansi. It's so good to still have you with us. Moving from one doctor to another, we got to get into another conversation all around the good feels when it comes to pediatrics. Now, Dr. Alistair McAlpine is a South African pediatric infectious diseases physician. He's now based out in Canada with a history of palliative pediatrics. He's also known for his heartwarming viral tweet from 2018, where he shared the touching responses of terminal pediatric patients about what brought them joy in life.
Yeah, now listen to this. He's got a new book out. It's called Prescription Ice Cream. It delves into the profound lessons he's learned from his patients, highlighting the importance of finding happiness amidst adversity and the power of simple pleasures. Now, Dr. McAlpine is here to inspire us with his stories of resilience and hope. Doc, coming through with the good stuff. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. We're really excited about this one.
Oh, I am so excited, Doc. Thank you for joining us
Thank
on
you
this
for
couch.
having me.
First and foremost, what struck me was the title of your book. Because if I was ever prescribed ice cream, I'm telling you, I'd be sick all the time. So tell me what goes behind that title, Prescription Ice Cream.
So the thread that inspired it all, which we'll talk about in a second, asked a bunch of kids who were facing really serious life-threatening conditions, what makes you happy? And one of the things that jumped out is every single one of them said ice cream.
Wow.
And what's amazing about ice cream is it's something that you can share with a friend. You can have it by yourself. You can have it when you're happy and celebrating, and you can have it when you've just had a breakup. It's this wonderful thing that people can share and enjoy. Kids love it, adults love it, and for something that provides so much joy, sometimes I think we just need to prescribe it a little bit more.
I'm here for that. I'm not going to lie.
I'm sold, man. I'm sold on ice cream after that. You can't fault me wrong. But, I mean, it does get deeper than that, and I think there's a bigger meaning as to why you did this. I want to take it back to 2018. We're speaking about that tweet that you found a reason to share, and I'm thinking that a lot of the world is actually very grateful for that decision that you made. Why did you go through thinking that in 2018 it was a good reason to share some of your patients' insights and what these kids were going through?
Sure, so I was chatting to a bunch of these kids who were really unwell, and what was amazing was that they still found so much joy and happiness. And I was kind of jealous. I was like, tell me your secret. How are you able, what is it that makes you happy? And the answers that they gave were so beautiful and profound and true that I knew I was onto something. I knew I had stumbled onto something interesting, and it was so cool and life-altering for me that I really thought I had to share it. So one lunch hour, I sent it out to my followers on the app formerly known as Twitter, and I think I had a couple hundred followers, and I thought my mom and a few friends might retweet it. And it went around the world. It was viewed more than 20 million times.
Wow.
And I think it was just that, and it wasn't my brilliance, it was simply people could recognize the wisdom in the answers that the children gave. And I think it just gave a lot of people perspective and joy and hope. And that's what people really want.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. I mean, we face so many challenges on a day-to-day. Any little bit of encouragement will eat it up, right? But I know that what you do every day, Doc, is not always easy. I mean, seeing these children face things that no person should, especially not a kid, is not very easy. So tell us more about some of the heartwarming stories that you've seen, experienced, and heard.
Totally. Well, when I was working for this amazing organization in Cape Town called Peds Pal, and that's a palliative care organization that deals with children who are unwell, and they make magic happen. And I remember we had two youngsters, and all they wanted to do was go to the aquarium. And that was easier said than done because they were on ventilators to help them breathe. They were getting medications through drips and things like that. So it wasn't just a matter of putting them in the car and hauling them off to the aquarium. But a whole team of doctors, a whole team of nurses, a whole team of volunteers managed to work together to get these kids to the aquarium. And the look on their faces when they were there and surrounded by the fish and seeing the dolphins and everything was just absolutely magic. And at that moment, I think we all thought, this has been totally worth it. And then the other quick story was I had a young man who was in a lot of pain, and he wouldn't talk to anybody. And he had a metal shirt on, and a lot of people are surprised to know that I'm a big metal fan.
Okay.
No one knows that, but they're very surprised. And I said to him, I know the band. And he didn't believe me. But when I was able to convince him that I did in fact like this horrible band. It was a real breakthrough, and that was the moment at which I was able to connect with him, because no one else had been able to get through. But a shared love of something that no one else likes, but I kind of like, was the breakthrough point, and I was then able to then take the relationship further and really help him out. So that's a couple of the things that appear in the book.
That is so cool. Well, listen,
Wait, I want to know which band this is. Which horrible band brought the two of you together?
So the horrible band that brought the two of us together is a band called Wolves in the Throne Room.
Wolves in the Throne Room. All right, they're going to get a lot of plays after this one.
I don't think most of your audience would like it, but a few people right now are going,
Rock on.
Listen, I'm so grateful that you're sharing this, because I think there's so much that you've learned that I still feel we need to kind of pull out of you, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of that in the future. But if I could ask you right now in this moment, with everything that you've been able to take in, what is one of the biggest lessons that you've been able to learn throughout this journey and throughout all these incredible lessons that you've been blessed with?
So for me, the biggest one is that happiness and the things that make us happy are simple and easy and available to almost all of us. But as we get older and we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of day-to-day life, we forget. And we think that it's the flashy car or the nice watch or the million followers on Instagram that what matters, and we lose sight of what really matters. And, you know, very brief spoiler, but family, quality time with your family, cracking bad jokes with your friends, eating ice cream, going to the beach, reading stories to the people you love, listening to great music with people you know and care about, being as kind as you can be to other people. If you take all of those things and you smush them together, you're probably going to have a happy day.
That's like life's ice cream right there.
Yeah.
With some toppings.
With some toppings and sprinkles and a cherry on top. Doc, thank you so much for coming through. It doesn't stop here, because it gets even more exciting, because not only are we talking about the book, but we're also giving Mzansi an opportunity to get involved in this right now. So listen to this. Mzansi prescription ice cream is available at major bookstores, but you at home can stand the chance of winning a copy. Now, we have 2 copies up for grabs, and to enter, all you have to do is answer the following question. Tell us, what are your simple pleasures? It's really that simple. So let us know your answer on the Expresso social pages. Your terms and conditions can be found at expressoshow.com. And a reminder, the comp closes at 12 o'clock tomorrow. That's the 29th of May. So what are you waiting for? This is something that could possibly, more than likely, I think definitely change your perspective on life and make you find the magic that you've been looking for. Thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'll tell you what will make me, and I'm guessing most of the world, really happy right now. International Hamburger Day. It's officially here, so get ready to experience a burst of Asian-inspired goodness in every bite. Perfectly cooked farmer brown chicken fillets coated in a rich teriyaki glaze, paired with a vibrant rainbow slaw, and then finished off with some refreshing cucumber ribbons, all nestled in a beautifully toasted brioche bun. And Jenny is here to show us this mouth-watering burger and how it all comes together. I've been playing a lot with the Farmer Brown range, with the strips, with the fillets. I love the coating. I love the textures. Absolutely beautiful, the flavor. Perfect for this little spin. Break it down for me, because this seems to tick like 10 boxes, every box, if you will.
Do you know what I love
I'm
about
gonna
this?
trade places.
Okay, you don't have to do anything. It's all been done for you.
It's the best kind of recipe that does itself.
So I'm going to just put this teriyaki glaze. I mean, you could really make it yourself. Or you could just open a bottle, which I'm doing. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is, because I have a feeling this one is going to go down like a treat, I'm going to pop some more of our nourished chicken, our lightly dusted breast fillets. And I like the fact that they haven't gone overboard with the coating.
No, it's gorgeous.
But the flavor profile is absolutely wonderful. And these are air fryer ready, which in the world of a parent is amazing. So I made little burgers with these for my kids last night.
You one
so
of those
quick
kids.
and easy. And then you can load up with all the nice, healthy flavor things that they enjoy.
Yes. Do you like mayonnaise?
Yep.
So I'm going to give you a lot.
Do it. Do it, my
And
friend.
while that just sort of soaks into my bun and my Farmer Brown is playing around in the pan, we're going to dress this dressing.
Okay, and this, the rainbow slaw is slightly different. It's, I always use the word funkiness when it comes to Asian flavors, because you've got that combination of umami, salty, sweet, a little bit of zing. You've got to have kind of a well-balanced flavor punch.
Yes. So this is a little bit of soy sauce. You know, you remind me of my granddaughter. She's 3 years old.
I've been told that before, yeah.
No, but you know what she said to me? She says, Gugu, I know sweet, I know sour, and she knows hot. And she says, I want you to teach me umali.
Umali.
Umali. But where does this child get that? Yeah, you do
Oh,
this.
I wonder, Jen.
No,
I wonder.
I know. She just came
That's
to me.
cute,
Look at this
man.
little bit of honey, a little bit of oil, because you want to keep it nice and moist. Can you tap this oil out? Take the teaspoon.
I can do that for
Yes.
you.
But she said, Gugu, I want some
so
umali.
cute, man.
Teach me umali.
Oh, that's going to stick, I think, eh?
For the rest of my life.
I know. That's forevermore. Umami is now umali,
Umali.
okay? If you hear any different, they are wrong.
They are very, very wrong. So this ticks all the boxes. And look at this, and we just give it a good old coating. I like a lot of this, you know that, eh?
Because it's crunch, it's
Beautiful
it's
texture.
the mouthfeel that you need. With a burger, it's almost the textures and how it all comes together when you hold it, when
Yes.
you bite it, almost as important as the flavor
And
profile.
when you mess it all over the counter.
Oh, yeah, go for it. It's for the
we can
gram.
do
We want to
that,
take an
yeah.
aerial
And how
photo.
How about
The
chili?
crunch, please. The more chili crunch and the more onion crunch, the better. This is an absolute
Lovely,
win.
huh?
When we talk about getting the textures right, that is one element. You want the nutrients as well. And what I love about Farmer Brown's Nourish range, obviously crumb chicken with a difference. You can now enjoy 100% breast fillet. That's our jumping off point with 100% South African chicken. And this is ideal for a quick and easy meal. It is so easy to put together. Simply bake or fry the crumb chicken breast fillets for a satisfyingly crunchy texture. And then we just layer in the funkiness with our teriyaki sauce. And these fillets lightly seasoned and battered for your pleasure in breadcrumbs with just a little bit of parsley and extra virgin olive oil. So there's no junk going in, just the good stuff, and you get just the good stuff out. The sauce smells amazing. The funkiness of this
gorgeous.
is next level.
So
here we've
no junk in our trunk.
well, there will be
Just
after
good
this, but it's
chicken.
okay. I love the fact that we've got the crunch from the slaw.
Yes.
You've got a bit of that tanginess, that zinginess. You've got the freshness from these beautiful cucumber ribbons, and you've got the nutrients all coming together in one beautiful meal. And it's literally, I've had to kind of talk slowly to try and make this take a little bit slower, but pretty much the time that you take to cook your 15 minutes or so to get your breast fillets done, even less in the air fryer,
yes.
and you arrive at this. Absolutely gorgeous.
And she says, I want to test you.
Oh.
You must test you.
I'm going to have
Later.
both of these
You
for
piglet.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Absolutely love this. Then all you have to do is decide on the side, or you can make the side a second burger. It is time to win and win big, not just with the flavors, but you can actually win something special this morning. This week with Farmer Brown's Nourish range, you need to take note. You stand the chance of winning a hamper valued at £6,000. You have to tell us what you love about the versatility of the at Farmer Brown South Africa Nourish crumbed chicken range. And I've given you that handle so you can use it in your answer. And don't forget to also use the qualifying hashtag Farmer Brown Way. And the competition closes on the 16th of June, an important one, and that's at midnight. But you can find all the T's and C's at expressoshow.com. Ryle, there is a reason why Jenny made two of these. I'm going to ask Riley Pants to come in here and just have a little... Okay, we'll make him wait and maybe do some push-ups and sit-ups to work up a bit of an appetite. If you want this recipe for yourself, head over to expressoshow.com. There is a whole world of possibilities waiting with just this humble breast fillet. Absolutely beautiful. And they look spectacular.
Yeah.
Oh, that looked so good that I had to come through and hope that I could. Yes! I was hoping for this.
One for each cheek.
You manifest the good stuff and it happens, Mzansi. So while I tuck into this good stuff right now, let me talk to you about what you can look forward to on your Feel Good Breakfast show. We got a great conversation. We're talking about the unrealistic expectations of dating and being in a relationship. And then if you fancy yourself wanting to head to Turkey, then why don't you learn a bit of Turkish? And that's what the presenters are going to do right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Well, we're going to try at least and learn some of that. So don't go anywhere. You might see us making a fool of ourselves, or maybe we accomplish it. But right now, this is a success. Oh, get in my belly. Really, I love it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, about your feel-good breakfast show, and honey, do you know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at a future millionaire. Yes, indeed. And let me tell you how, okay? 67 million rand in estimated Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots could be your ticket to the millions this Tuesday. That's right, Mzansi. It's huge, it's big, and I want you to be part of it because we want you to be a millionaire and you deserve to be. So let me tell you a little bit more. You can play Powerball for an estimated 62 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 5 million rand. But as always, if you want to win, you need to play. I tell you, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, this thing. It's mathematics, it's science, in fact. And this is why you can buy your tickets today in store, or you can go on nationallottery.co.za, the website, of course, and then you can also use the mobile app. And that is where, my love, you can also buy tickets through cell phone banking or by simply dialing, listen properly, *120 *7529 hash for USSD. And we have posted all of these details on our Expresso social media pages, so it is all there. You cannot miss out. But go and check them out. And then we want you to always do the right thing, to panda, pusha, play, my friend. Because Powerball and Powerball Plus for an estimated 67 million rand could be all yours in estimated jackpots today. And you could become a big winner, a huge winner, a colossal one, in fact. But you got to play if you want to win. It is that easy. And this is why I say, I'm looking at a future millionaire. Yes, I am. It is all happening right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. You got to stick around. There's a whole lot just to round up the show as a whole. However, we got to take care of business. And the beautiful, amazing, gorgeous Carissa is standing by with the news headlines. Hi, my Carissa.
Hi, Zanele. So many compliments. Keep them coming. Well, it's just gone a minute after 8 South Africa. Let's have a look at what's happening in your national news. Well, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, or NSFAS, has reiterated its call for students at technical vocational education and training, or TVET colleges, to submit their banking details in order to receive their allowances. NSFAS Administrator Freeman Nomvalo said yesterday the scheme had devised a payment mechanism to address the payment of allowances for TVET students. Payments are currently being made directly to the students' bank accounts. Nomvalo emphasized that the banking details provided must belong to the student to enable NSFAS to verify that information. As SA holds its 7th democratic elections tomorrow, voters will, for the first time, receive 3 ballot papers instead of 2. The Electoral Commission, or IEC, has urged voters to carefully review and mark each of 3 ballot papers before depositing them in the ballot box. The appeal to voters is to remember that they can only put 1 mark on each ballot. More than 1 mark will result in, of course, a spoiled vote and not be counted. Now, moving on to international news, U.S. President Joe Biden has named Kenya as a major non-NATO ally, making it the first sub-Saharan African country to receive such a designation. Biden announced the move during a 3-day state visit by Kenya's President William Ruto. It was the first such visit to Washington by an African leader in more than 15 years, and comes as Russia and China have expanded their influence across the African continent. Several governments in the Sahel region and West Africa have fallen to military coups, leading to the removal of cooperation missions with Western nations. Now, European and Arab governments have strongly condemned Israel's bombing of parts of the city of Rafah in Gaza. Some 45 people died in a fire in a camp for the uprooted, which broke out after the airstrikes. The Israeli army says it was a precision attack in which it targeted Hamas stronghold. It reported that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said yesterday that a tragic mistake was made in an Israeli attack in the southern Gaza city of Rafah that set fire to a camp housing displaced Palestinians. Now, does your toddler need a winter coat for a skiing holiday they'll outgrow by next year? Maybe you need a camping gear for a rare adventure. Well, enter the library of things or lot, a new trend letting your rent just about anything. From baby clothes to air fryers, from over 2,000 lot exists in the English-speaking world and Central Europe, with hair popping up the last 5 years. One simply sets up an account and pays a rental fee. Now, owner of lots shares stories of high-demand items such as table saw loaned 321 times and camping gear 250 days per year. That's how many times it was used. As well as items being rented 300 times by some 1,200 different people. One wonders, isn't there a gap in the SA market? Well, we're yet to find out. We move over to your sports with Graham.
Thank you so much, my friend. Let's look at who's in and who is out as we broach the prospect of a new Premier League season. Well, definitely a man of this season. Unai Emery has signed a new 5-year contract with Aston Villa. The former Arsenal and Sevilla manager guided Villa to a historic 4th-place Premier League finish, securing Champions League football for the first time in the club's history. They were also very much the reason why Arsenal weren't able to win the league this year. Emery replaced Steven Gerrard in October of 2022 after winning the Europa League with Villarreal, and his 4th triumph in that competition following 3 victories with Sevilla, clearly on an incredible arc in his career right now. Now let's go to North London, where Chelsea is in talks to name Leicester City's Enzo Maresca as their new coach, or at least that's according to British media reports this morning. The Italian, who once worked as Pep Guardiola's assistant at Manchester City, successfully led Leicester back to the Premier League after their relegation last year, which was quite a feat, and his tactical approach and style of play have clearly impressed Chelsea's decision makers, and he could be unveiled as their new manager in the coming days. And yes, he is a doppelganger for Pep as well. Now we turn to tennis, and she's on fire. Iga Swiatek, she kicked off her quest for a 4th French Open title with a dominant 6-1, 6-2 victory over local French qualifier Leolia Jean-Jean, advancing to a 2nd round. The 3rd seed and US Open champion secured her 50th victory in a Grand Slam by defeating Russian qualifier Julia Avdiva, 6-1 and 6-1 in just 52 minutes. So Gauff will now face Slovenian qualifier Tamara Ziransek in the 2nd round. Now let's turn to the men's draw, and I think a lot of mixed emotions playing out now. Rafael Nadal's illustrious French Open career likely concluded yesterday with a 1st round defeat to Alexander Zverev, the 14-time. We'll see some form coming out of Rafa yet, but that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this Tuesday morning. Let's take one last look at the roads.
Thank you so much, G-Man. And yes, let's see how we can assist you when it comes to traffic right now. And we move over to Mpumalanga. Now, there's been a major accident on the N12 route, and that's between Imalahleni and Ochis. Now, heavy delays are expected, and the affected area is misty. Now, you need to definitely drive carefully and make use of your headlights. And as you can see from the visuals we put up right now, visuals are limited, and we truly are hoping that everybody that might be involved in this right now is safe. We carry on now with the rest of the headlines associated with traffic, and we move over to Somerset West right now. And as you can see from the visuals in Cape Town, there is congestion on the N2 outbound. Now, this is before Victoria Road. So again, if you are passing through the area, you can expect delays and do allow for more added travel time. Again, a reminder for anybody heading out on the roads this morning, buckle up, stay safe, and plan accordingly. We now move to the world of weather. Reporting one last time from the world of weather, and the SA Weather Service has issued a warning for extremely high fire danger conditions, which can be expected over the north-central parts of the Northern Cape province today. Now, the Weather Service has meanwhile said that it, at this stage, voting day tomorrow is expected to remain dry and rain-free countrywide. This is fantastic news. Now, although a cold front is moving closer to the Western Cape, current numeric weather prediction models indicate that rainfall associated with the arrival of the cold front will only occur after tomorrow. Now, it has in fact recommended that voters and election officials be cognizant of the predominantly sunny conditions forecast for large parts of the country. And this brings us to the exciting part of this hour. It's our sunrise view of the hour. I love celebrating this one. And this morning, look at this, from Keith, all the way in Edgemead. The man has captured every single colorway and shade of the sun. Well played, Keith. I absolutely love this shot. You even included a little bit of a mountain in the background there. Picturesque, to say the least. We've got a winner, Mzansi, and we'll do it all again tomorrow morning. So don't forget the number. It's 063-408-8863, and we'd love to share your sunrise view with the world. For now, though, we're going to share with you the temperatures that you can expect on your side of town.
Hallo, goeiemorgen. Sawubona, Mulweni, Dumelang.
Oh, nice, G.
No, that's only a few of them. There are a lot more, okay? As a country with 11 official languages, we are no strangers to knowing how to greet someone in another language, and I think we're all trying to improve every day. And whilst we explore the beauty of Turkey, it's about time that we add to the repertoire and introduce some Turkish into our vocabulary. I say that loosely because it's going to be tough. This is quite a different language to wrap your mouth around, I suppose.
It is, and it's a historic language. I mean, listen to this. Turkish adopted the Latin alphabet, and this was after 1928, and that was to increase literacy in the country. Did you know this? Well, we are gonna try a little bit of a learning for ourselves and attempt a couple of words. Now, we hope that you might learn alongside us too. Apologies. Apologies if we do get this wrong, but maybe you can also correct us. So I think let's get this going.
I'm ready. Carissa, are you a languagey kind of person? Because some people have the knack.
To get a grip and a grasp of Afrikaans. So
Okay.
we're getting there. I understand that the speaking is something I need a bit of practice on, but I want to go to Turkey at some point this year. So I feel like
you have to. I feel like we need to get you there.
I'm still working on my English right now, but let's get into this, I guess.
Actually, well put, my friend. Well put. Okay, so let's start with just a basic greeting, and we're all doing this together. So please play along at home.
Okay.
I think we've got an up sound first. Let's just have a listen
take a
first.
listen.
Yeah.
Günaydın. Günaydın.
Sure. Okay, Google was sounding quite aggressive there. Okay, so okay. Good morning is Günaydın. Günaydın. You got to say it with
I like your tone way better than Google. Can we update that, please?
That sounds like someone who walked past someone who didn't get a Günaydın, and they were like, Günaydın. Günaydın. Okay, I love that. I actually like that.
So, we've got a good morning. Let's maybe introduce ourselves. How would we do this, all right? So, if we were to introduce ourselves, let's have a listen and see if we can attempt this.
Benim adım.
Benim adım. Benim adım.
Benim adım.
Benim adım.
Benim adım.
Yeah. This might be yours.
Benim adım.
Please, Turkish Airlines.
Benim adım Ryle.
Right, benim adım Carissa.
Benim adım Graham.
Oh, I think we got this.
All right, send her. Turkish Airlines, send her to Turkey. Okay, you could then ask someone how they are by saying, let's listen.
Nasılsın? Nasılsın?
Nasılsın?
Nasılsın?
Nisselson. I like the upward inflection.
Yeah, Nisselson.
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 It's very, very optimistic
I'm
language.
fine. Yeah.
It's a spring in a step.
Günaydın. Nisselson.
Nice.
Nice.
Fine. That's when you just when you start drifting to hand signals. Okay, so let's get the actual response. So the response to this would be, I am well, which translates to, can we listen?
Aim.
Ben iyim. Okay, I know we are breaking these up phonetically, so please bear with us. Beniyim.
That was
Benium.
good.
Yeah. So I think once you've got it flowing in a sentence structure, the words will become more condensed. But I love it. There's a beautiful flow
There
to the
is,
words.
yeah,
I
there is
love
indeed.
it.
So,
Okay.
but should we try to put this together, or should we just?
think so.
Okay.
I can't even remember like all of it.
Okay.
Gunadin.
Gunadin.
Yes.
Benim Adim. Graham.
Graham. Benim Adim Carissa.
Benim Adim Ryle.
Good job.
Nice.
Nesil?
Naselsin.
Neselsin.
Ah.
I'm fine, thank you. No.
Beniem.
Beniem. Beniem.
Yes, we haven't even left the airport yet. We're just sitting there, confused at the coffee shop at the airport, and the taxi driver's looking at us like, "Are you kidding?" We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
We're going to have a little book with us, I think. And then to ask nicely, okay, you'd need to say this.
Lütfen. Lütfen.
Oh, that's like saying please.
Nice,
like,
yes. We've got to
Lütfen,
remember our
Lütfen.
manners, don't
Yes.
we? Lutfen.
I'm just going to say that all the time. Lütfen.
Lütfen.
Lütfen. And you say it with a bit of a tone. Lütfen.
Lütfen.
Come on. What you talking about? Okay. I love that. Okay, and then I suppose
We've got to say thank you.
Okay, give it a
Yeah.
shot. Okay, let's listen.
Teşekkürler. Teşekkürler.
Ooh.
Wow.
That sounds like a nice drink I would enjoy.
does. It rolls into the teşekkürler.
That sounded like James Bond saying.
It
saying
does,
thing,
yeah.
teşekkürler.
Oh.
I like
Turkish
that.
Bond,
And
teşekkürler.
listen, how you say it and how you sell it are half the battle. So just with confidence, with absolute confidence. I love that. Okay, so this was like the least professional language class that's ever been delivered. Okay, and I think an opportunity for all of us to learn more about this incredible culture. And starting with language is always the perfect place. And if the Turkish language has piqued your interest just a little bit and added a new desired holiday destination, then you've got to please right now, and you're included in this. Head to turkishairlines.com to book your trip to Turkey or any of their other 265 international destinations. I don't think another airline does more.
No, not at all. I am signing up immediately. We'll reach the most destinations in the world with Turkish Airlines and their promotional airfares. So between now and 31 July, you can get a cheaper base fare to selected destinations. So all you have to do is head to turkishairlines.com to find out more.
All right. I'll do that.
Right
Say no
now.
more.
I'm going to do that right now.
You guys are my travel companions.
I'm going to say please. I'm going to ask really nicely now.
We connect more countries than any other airline. Turkish Airlines.
I'm not ready to come back. I'm not ready to come back from Turkey. I'm sitting on a boat on the Bosphorus right now, looking at Asia, looking at Europe on either side.
What do you say?
Like,
good night, everybody. Good night.
Just help me off the boat. I love that. Absolutely beautiful. Well, we're going to have a little bit of fun on the other side of a very quick break. I say that loosely because we're going to be looking at aging and how you can do it gracefully. Now, we've got some wonderful little life hacks, tips and tricks as well for the outside.
Speaking of tips and tricks, we've got a tips and tricks coming from a great conversation. We're going to panel in to help us discuss the expectations and unrealistic expectations of dating. Now, there's a lot that goes on into this conversation. I know I'll pique your interest right there. So don't go anywhere, Mzansi. A great conversation just around the corner.
There are stories of believers, and we're inspired by them all. We invite you to write your story with us. Your story matters. ABSA.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, a very big good morning to you. I hope that you are seated and comfortable because we're going to get into some spicy conversation now. We focus on a lot of things on Tuesdays, I'd say, and one of them is relationships. And today in particular, we are talking about unrealistic dating expectations.
Yes, we are. So before we get into this conversation, let's just take a look at this viral clip of a man sharing his dating requirements.
So the type of woman that I'm looking for, she has to have a car. Car is a very important requirement because I don't have any car. So you can't have two people that don't have car. We'll just be walking everywhere. And summer has started already, so the weather is getting very hot. We need a vehicle. A house also, no rental. I don't want anybody that is renting anywhere because I can't be renting and she also will be renting. She has to have her own house that we can move into together. Invariably, money, she has to have money too, because you can't have two people that don't have money. That way she can help me invest some of her money.
Yeah, man, the man had a full-on list there.
If I've got all those things, what are you bringing to the table?
This is true.
The question we got to ask. Well, joining us right now is Daniela Mayer. She is a FAMAC accredited family therapist, divorce mediator, and parenting coordinator, and also Sadia Southgate, a HPCSA registered counselor, as well as a psychologist supervisor, as we explore the harmful effects of unrealistic dating requirements.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. And those were unrealistic. Come
on.
on.
Those are chuckles in response to the video, right?
Lovely. We're over here.
Goodness me.
Listen, let's get straight into this because there's a lot to uncover here with this topic and I want to dive straight into it. What exactly is social media doing right now? I mean, what's going on with that video, number one? Number two, what's happening to these expectations that we are now creating in relationships? What's going on?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can I jump right in?
Yes.
What is social media doing to everything?
This is
I mean,
true.
is it just relationships?
Yeah.
We look at social media and we look at everybody's idea of what we think is right. But what do we have to compare it to? Is it personal experience? Should we ever be looking at somebody else's experience and thinking that is what I want? Because we don't know if that's true or not.
And why are we even comparing in the first place?
Exactly.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to add to that notion of social media and how it's actually destroying so many areas of our personal lives.
I think the answer just, ties into just the term social media influence. Because when you look at that term, social media influence often portrays, an unrealistic, as you say, expectation, unrealistic, not just expectation of relationships, it's of, your partner, of families and friends, it's a job. It's quite holistic as well. And in that regard, when you look at it, it's just a whole lot of things that, it's fantasy, it's what you would like, not necessarily what reality actually is. And once you're actually in a relationship, then you actually are faced with the reality of this is actually not true.
And it comes fast and it comes hard, let me
Absolutely.
tell you. Thank you for that, Sadia. I'm telling you, social media is just a highlight reel. And when you get into the
Absolutely.
nitty-gritty, then who do you call, Can't be calling Ghostbusters at that time. Well, let's get into dating requirements in particular. I think that when you step into a relationship, you kind of come with a whole list of things and you want to tick the boxes, right? He's got this, he's got that, he's got that. And if he doesn't, we keep it moving. But sometimes that might actually exclude potential in somebody. So where is the balance? How do we exactly navigate without also dropping our standards?
Yes, I think, what reminds me of online shopping, there's in the search bar, there's that filter.
Yeah.
So you can filter out what it is that you don't want to actually get to the product that you do, or item that you do want. But oftentimes when we get to filtering out what we're looking for is often sold out. And that's what it comes down to with relationships and setting that standard. Yes, we don't necessarily want to lower our standards or expectations. Expectations are good for any relationship. I mean, when you go into a relationship and have no expectations, then, that already is like, like a red flag. So when you renew your mind to that, it's important to also know, that these are certain expectations, it is that I do have, and it's okay. But whatever I'm bringing, there's an expectation
expectation that my partner is also meeting me, not halfway, because I say relationships isn't 50-50, it's 100-100 for both parties, because if I'm only giving 50%, then where's my other 50% going to?
I love that. This may be a curveball though. Let's say I'm someone and I have my own particular boxes that I want ticked, right? And I know this because of what I think I want. But relationships offer you this opportunity to discover things about yourself.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's a good enough relationship where you're completing each other, right?
Yes.
If I'm adamant on what I want in a relationship, could this not potentially exclude me from the good stuff that I might still need to experience in life? I know this is a tricky one, but I don't know. Do you have an answer to this? How would I navigate this better?
My answer to this is really my answer to everything regarding relationships and friendships. And that is, before you even embark on this kind of a journey, make sure you know yourself. Make sure that you understand what really makes you tick. When you go into a relationship looking for an unrealistic expectation of somebody completing you, you've got a problem. Because then what you're doing is you're living your life hoping that they're going to bring all those things you don't know about yourself. So what do we need to do? We need to focus on what makes us genuinely happy. I personally come from a background of divorce. I work as a divorce mediator, so I often see the relationship at the end, and I often see the failed relationships. But what that does is it gives me this holistic view of what maybe we shouldn't do. The one screaming situation constantly is don't jump into anything too quickly. Don't jump into anything until you understand. And another very important thing is know your worth. Know your worth, because when you know what you deserve, and obviously you have a responsibility to give that to your partner as well, you don't settle and you don't feel like you can't explore what might come up in the future. You have that support.
Well, Daniela, what if what I love is money, right? And that is what I'm leading with when pursuing my potential partner. Is it a case of I can come just as I am and you kind of have to meet me where I'm at? Because we're kind of seeing a lot of that these days. I mean, with the rise of blesses and with the rise of just women kind of establishing this is the transaction that we're going through. I bring the beauty, you bring the money.
I am so happy that you asked that today, because I have just listened to the most fantastic podcast by a divorce lawyer in New York, James Sexton, and he answered this question so perfectly. If you are authentic, it doesn't matter what the relationship is about. So if you go into a relationship, he calls it an economic exchange, really. When you go into a relationship and say, hi, I'm fabulous, I'm bringing the beauty, I'll stand on your arm, and in exchange, I'm not going to work, but you're going to support me and provide the money because you've got it, and both of you agree, then what's the harm? And this is what he's going with, that he doesn't like the term gold digger, because if it is an agreement between two parties, and I know I can bring this and you can bring that, where's the harm? The problem is when that's not discussed at all, when it's like, we're going to do this 50-50, we're going to raise a family, whatever the story is. Oh, but wait a second, now that we're married, I just need you to know one thing, is that I'm going to the gym and I'm getting my nails done. Enjoy work. You know, that is where the problem comes in.
So communication, right?
Yeah, but I like this because it goes beyond communication. What this is actually explaining to me is that we have a complete misunderstanding of what relationships are. It's your own agreement, it's your own relationship, it's your own rules that you get to create and define. And this could be an opportunity as well. Maybe this is an opportunity for the good or for the bad, Mzansi, but what do you think? Come through, let us know what your thoughts are on this situation by heading over to our social media pages at Expresso Show. And let us know with maybe leaving a voice note or just a note of any kind. And the number again is 063-408-8863. And let me tell you, this conversation is just getting started. We want to hear from you what you think is playing into the relationships, what these expectations are, and maybe you've got your own rules. Let us know, and we'll carry on this conversation in just a bit.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, things are getting heated here as we're delving into conversation all around unrealistic expectations. And joining us right now, of course, we've got Sadia and Daniela. We have to continue this conversation because these are accredited people when it comes to guiding us through relationships.
Yeah.
And we've actually got some voice notes from our people.
We do. Listen, the conversation we had earlier has definitely sparked some interest online. Mzansi's going crazy right now. We've got voice notes, we've got comments coming through. So I don't know if these are opinions that are agreeing or disagreeing with us, but they are opinions nonetheless. So Mzansi, what do y'all have to say right now? Let's say what's up.
Good morning, Expresso team. My name is Noxie, and my expectations in a relationship, or rather in a partner, would be loyalty, number one, and secondly would be trust. It's very important for your partner to be able to trust you. Thank you.
Yeah, these are vital, obviously. I don't think we need to say much about these. These are two pivotal things that are needed in a relationship. I don't think we can say much. Yeah. More voice notes to come. Let's see what, I think this is Shamima. Yeah.
My name is Shamima. What I want in a partnership and a relationship is honesty, trust, respect. There is nothing like that today. Today's partnership, they actually very materialistic and there is no honesty. Just so much cheating. I actually don't know. In the old days, our parents, they were brought up with morals. Today, it's just whatever. And that is so wrong.
Today is just whatever.
We live in Sin City, according to
Yeah.
Shamima. I almost get that. I think going back to our first point about social media, I think it's created this culture of I can get better, I could have more, and it's always outside of your current relationship, right?
It's something I also realize and something I maybe even experienced myself, and I'd love to hear a comment on this, but for me, I think for the better parts of my previous relationships, having these feelings of anxiety and not sure what's going on, you don't know why, but it's so simple. If I don't have the trust, if I don't have that commitment, if I don't know what's going on in a relationship, I'm bound to feel that way. And I think what Carissa says now, don't you feel like the social media has created this environment when it's almost inevitable for the breakup? It's like, breakup is inevitable. It's like divorce is inevitable. It's like, why do relationships have to have this finite moment? Why does it not last forever anymore like it used to in the past?
Yes.
What do you think has changed?
Yes. I think, what has changed is social media. We see a lot of things there, and when we look even in comparison to the video that we've seen, these expectations are things that you can't control and it's things that's always going to change, like money, a house, a car. Those are things that you're always going to want more. There's always things changing, but when it comes to, when it comes to honesty and, commitment, loyalty, and those kinds of things, those are things of the heart, not people don't necessarily see that, but they feel that as, it's something that you were speaking about, like that anxiety also. But when we look holistically at the term unrealistic expectations, it often leads to feelings of inadequacy, with anxiety, depression, disappointment, and I often say unmet expectation leads to disappointment.
Wow, you got to know your worth, step in as a whole person before you even pursue a partner. I love that reminder. It's so beautiful. Well, let's have a look at what Mzansi's saying in the comments. Gretchen had something to say.
Lots coming through. She says, whatever requirement you have of the other person, you should be able to fulfill that requirement yourself as well.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we both bringing something to the table.
Do you agree to that? Do you agree on that?
I disagree on that.
Okay.
Interesting.
Let's read the question again.
All right, let's just go back to the comment if you can. So Gretchen says, whatever requirement you have of the other person, you yourself should be able to fulfill that requirement yourself. We don't always agree with this. Why?
So the two things I want to say, I've read it two different ways now. Are we expected to be able to fulfill that requirement for ourselves? In which case, what are we looking for in the relationship? Number one. And number two is, are we expected to fulfill that for somebody else? So the first way I read it is, if you come into a relationship with me and what you're looking for me is support and unconditional love, let's say, I'm not necessarily looking for that from you. So I don't need you to fulfill that for me. we all come into the relationship, like I said before, knowing who we are and knowing where we're looking for support or value. My biggest thing is a relationship is supposed to add value to your life.
Yes.
It is supposed to make challenging situations more manageable. It's not designed for drama. It's not there to create unnecessary tension. So if somebody's adding the value to your life, that's wonderful. And I think the conversation is the expectations, even if they do seem unrealistic to start with, the communication, having that discussion, what do you need from me in order to maintain the feeling of being valued and giving me value? And when you can discuss that openly, then all of a sudden you realize that this is a partnership that's worth pursuing.
Oh, those are some gems, some nuggets. Daniela, thank you so much for joining us, as well as Sadia. I really have been taking so many notes in all of this, because even though I'm in a relationship, you can continue to learn, right? Continue to communicate your needs and desires as you move on through. Thank you so much, ladies. And of course, that is all from our relationship talk until we're back again next Tuesday. See you again next week, same time, same place. But don't go anywhere, because we'll be back after this break.
Catch Top Travel on Saturdays 8:30 p.m. on S3 and breathe for it with Halls to stand a chance to win a trip to Amsterdam with 2 return economy tickets on KLM Royal Dutch Airlines plus 20,000 Rand spending money. Head over to Top Travel TV social pages, comment on one of the competition posts, and you could be the lucky winner of this adventure of a lifetime. T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, get ready for a rather exciting discussion this morning, Mzansi. Today we are diving deep into the realm of healthy aging, from diet to skin, hair and even nails, with none other than Phytoceutics. Joining us are Laura Johnson, Marketing Director and Nutritionist, alongside Integrative Nutritionist Helene Harold. Now, all I can say is brace yourselves as we shatter myths and unearth truths in the captivating world of beauty from within. But what's that myth that you say, hey, listen, let's talk about this?
So I think a lot of people only feel like they have to address their longevity and healthy aging and beauty from within when they're older.
When they start seeing
when
the
you
signs.
start seeing the signs, and it's actually a lot about prevention. So we all know sunblock's important, but so is diet and, you know, ensuring you have enough nutrients to help your cells and prevent that aging process. Yeah. So one of my pet peeves is when people say everything in moderation. So why I struggle with this, because your moderation is different to my moderation. So I might think 2 blocks of dark chocolate is fine, and you might think that 2 slabs of family-sized chocolate is fine. So it's all relative, you know. So what I rather say is try avoid foods that aren't in their whole food state. You know, refined sugars, additives. If you see an ingredient list that you can't pronounce or that's really long, avoid that food. Go for your apples and your vegetables and your lean proteins, foods that you can see where they came from and you understand that they're also good for your body.
Yeah. So we did go about social media and asked, you know, some of the viewers some burning questions around healthy aging. Tuli Melody Sma says, how to keep a healthy lifestyle? Which exercises should I be doing? Are there any supplements needed to boost oneself?
Yeah, so exercise is super subjective. So for some individuals, they benefit from high intensity exercise to achieve their health goals. But then other individuals need to focus more on gentle, low intensity exercises to not raise cortisol levels and to put extra stress on the body. However, my general recommendation is like 30 to 60 minutes of movement daily. So just really ensuring that you move your body. As for supplements, it's again very subjective and personal to you and your nutritional requirements. However, my daily essentials are Pyrrhus Omega-3 and then Biomax Magnesium, Terra Nova's probiotic, and also the Phytomist Vitamin D3.
The Phytomist. I remember you speaking about that.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious. That's exactly what it is. We have another comment here. Susan Kupperman says, what is the importance of antioxidants in combating signs of aging, and which foods are rich sources of these antioxidants for promoting healthy skin and overall wellness?
Yes, so there's something called oxidative stress that our bodies are continuously going under. So there are free radicals in the environment, and what this does is these free radicals really damage the cells of your body. So you need antioxidants to neutralize these free radicals. So there are foods like berries that have polyphenols in them. You have green tea, which also has polyphenols and flavonoids in it. You have omega-3 fatty acids, which are incredibly important also to preserve your cell integrity. And then magnesium is also incredibly important. It's involved in over 3,000 processes in your body. So all of these are important as antioxidants to maintain a healthy cell turnover.
Sharpose says, grey hair all over my head, and I want to be forever young. Getting old is a big no for me. So is there anything one can take to keep the grey hairs away? Interesting, because, I mean, taking the angle from beauty from within.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no scientifically proven method that can prevent or slow grey hair completely, but there are obviously certain factors that do play a role. So then some tips that you can maybe incorporate to slow down the greying process and also help to keep your hair healthy. First, we all know really managing that stress. So chronic stress can really accelerate the greying process. Also avoid smoking. So smoking is shown to lead to premature greying and also hair loss. And then try to protect your hair against any physical or environmental damages. So like environmental pollutants, toxins, UV radiation, and also heavy harsh chemicals can damage the hair follicles, which can then lead to premature or greying. And then really maybe looking at adding some supplements. Vitamin B12 and biotin is really shown to be potential remedies that you can incorporate.
Sure. Carmen Little says, I've heard collagen supplements are popular for improving skin elasticity and reducing wrinkles. But how do collagen supplements contribute to healthy aging?
So collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, so therefore it supports our skin's elasticity, joint function, bone density, muscle mass, and also our gut health. So by then replenishing lost collagen, supplementation can then improve your skin's hydration, reduce wrinkles, alleviate joint pain, support bone health, and also then reserve your muscle mass and improve your gut integrity.
Laura, and then lastly, what are some of your absolute go-to supplements that you would recommend for our viewers out there?
It's like asking me to pick my favorite child. So I love NMN. This is one of our latest products, and NMN is incredibly innovative in the longevity and healthy aging space. So essentially what it does is it boosts your mitochondria, so it creates energy in your cells, which helps with cell turnover. So it's really good for longevity and aging. Then we've got a quercetin with pomegranate. This is the Phyto Pure quercetin with pomegranate. And why I love this product is because it's an antioxidant. We spoke about oxidation. And then, of course, a probiotic is incredibly important. And we have two probiotics that I love. The first is the Terra Nova Probiotic Complex, which is quite a full-spectrum probiotic. And then we've got Seragut, which was initially studied for the gut-brain axis and mood and anxiety. but recent studies are coming out showing its benefit for the gut-skin axis and eczema specifically.
I do hope that you at home took something away from this, and it really is just overall healthy living, beauty from within, and linking up professionals in the field with good quality products. So make sure you make that a priority as well. And remember, when choosing your products, you can get an exclusive 15% discount on your purchase by using the code Expresso at phytoceutics.com. You can also stand a chance to win Beauty from Within hamper from Phytoceutics worth over 1,500 Rand. It's a fantastic hamper, and to enter, all you have to do is take the Phyto Health quiz on phytoceutics.com/Expresso. So it's easy as that. Remember, T's and C's do apply, and you can find them on our website, expressoshow.com. And this competition runs until Monday, the 3rd of June this year, midnight. Make sure you get entering right now.
Enhance your beauty from within with Phytoceutics range of skin, hair, nail, and longevity promoting products. Use code Expresso for 15% off at phytoceutics.com.
Yeah, I think we can officially say this is a Health Tuesday right here, and we're going to keep that theme going right now because, hey, sometimes you need a switch up from, let's say, a boring bowl of cereal to something next level. Enter the kitchen at Expresso. Now, we are inspiring you to own your day with our delectable breakfast yogurt loaf. It's something you can make ahead of time for the whole family to enjoy, or maybe you're just hungry and want it all for yourself. It doesn't matter, because Jenny's here to show us how easy this one comes together for everybody to indulge in. Jenny, how are we doing this one?
This one we're going to do fast. I want to prove to you that I can give you breakfast. You have eggs. You have granola. We ain't doing flour, we're doing nuts.
Nuts,
We're
okay.
doing nuts. You're going to give me some of this beautiful fruit of the forest.
I was wondering if you were going to use this one or not.
I'm not better yet, you know that.
Yeah, last week also when you were on the show, you're still recovering a bit,
Yes.
but I'm glad that you're still moving. You're still looking incredible, even though the voice is taking strain. But Mzansi, let me talk to you because you won't take strain after diving into this good stuff. This makes for a great breakfast or snacking option. I'm talking about fruits of the forest right now. And even as a casual weekend brunch, this still offers something nutritious. Now, like Jenny just asked me now, you want a cup of this, right?
I know. Well, give me like a half a cup and I'll eat the rest. I love it because I'm addicted.
All right, and as you can see, and I love that they come in all these different options. And right throughout the show, we've been doing something really exceptional with every flavor variety. I haven't used this one today, though. So we've got the full cream yogurt citrus edition, and that's what's going into the loaf this morning. But like I said, it works so well with a lot of these recipes that I never knew could get elevated as much as they are when we include Clover's Fruits of the Forest. So again, this is another one that's doing exactly that. And you are not wasting any time on this, right?
I want to feed you, baby.
Yes, please. I'm ready for it.
You too can make this beautiful breakfast loaf with clover. Fruit of the forest. Look at me in the oven.
Look at you, Jenny. So pretty much, is that it? Everything's prepped, all done, ready to go?
In the oven, it comes out. You can just pretty. You know what? I'd ice it again with some more of that lovely fruit of the forest.
Beautiful stuff. Jenny
and
coming through.
cook it.
Thank you so much. ExpressoShow.com for all this goodness. I think we've got some time for a little taster here. You mind if I grab I'm going to just run over here, grab a little. I can't help myself,
Can I have
Jenny.
a spoon? Give me a spoon.
Let's pretend it's a cake. We go with some cake forks.
No, I don't want a cake fork. My yogurt's going to fall through the fork.
All right, I can't resist. Let's have a little
Go in
piece
the
here.
back.
Would you like some?
No, I want a fork.
Okay, that's for you. I'm going to dig into some of this.
I want this. Look
Oh,
here.
you just get straight into the
It's so thick and beautiful.
Well, like you
it
can
won't
see,
even
your
run
dessert.
through the fork.
You've got options here, and they
wow.
both are incredible. We know about the fruits of the forest, but when you put it into this, what's going on? There's like a playground in my mouth. It's exciting. It's incredible. It's invigorating. This is the loaf that you need, Mzansi. Oh, it's a winner. Jenny, thank you so much. In record time whatsoever. And while my mouth is full, I'm just going to remind you to head over to expressoshow.com to get this recipe, get inspired, and make a loaf for the whole family or just yourself. Doesn't matter. It's a winner. Oh, this is delicious. I'm going to have more.
Enjoy a thicker and creamier full cream yogurt with real fruit pieces. A fruitful day awaits with Clover Fruits of the Forest.
Oh my goodness, it looks absolutely delicious every single time. Every recipe we make on the show is just so yum. But you know what? Something else that's delicious is what is still on the menu. My friend, Ricky Tyler's gonna be performing. I hope you're ready, and I'm gonna give you a chance to get ready, okay? We're gonna take a very short break. But coming up, Ricky Tyler's gonna do the dab thing. Stick around.
Get ready to break the rules and redefine design with the freshest new interior makeover show in South Africa, My Design Rules. Now we're looking for 4 fresh up-and-coming design duos, and whether it's friends, family, siblings, or any pair for that matter, as long as you have an eye for beautiful spaces, then we want you.
Picture this: 4 talented teams, 4 fixer-uppers, located right in the heart of Cape Town's Atlantic seaboard, the ultimate design playground. If you're ready to revamp one of these apartments, then you can win big. The judge's choice will walk away with a shared 300,000 Rand, or your duo could nab a shared 100,000 Rand for impressing the viewers. Enter on WhatsApp on 073 595 6420 or on Cordova.tv, or hit up our My Design Rules TV socials for details.
That's My Design Rules, where every moment is a masterpiece.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Sound. Well, yes, that's the total estimated Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpot today. It could be yours, but you gotta play this Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right, Mzansi. You can play Powerball for an estimated 62 million Rand, Powerball Plus for an estimated 5 million Rand. But as always, if you want to play and if you want to win, you've got to play. Do both. You have to.
How do we do it?
Well, you can buy your tickets today in store and on the nationallottery.co.za website, or you could do it on the mobile app. You can also buy tickets through cell phone banking, and there's one more option. You could also dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD.
And you don't have to do all of them, just pick one, or if you're feeling really lucky, you can do all of them. I really don't care. Just to do something, and we posted all of those details up on our Expresso social media pages, so you can go and check them out at your leisure. Panda, Push Up Play, Powerball and Powerball Plus for a combined 67 million Rand total jackpot today. And it could be yours. You could be that winner and then just share with the rest of us.
Yeah, look, that's a lot of money, and if anybody gets it, you're going to feel like a winner. But for right now, if you want to feel like a winner, then just stick right here at your Feel Good Breakfast Show, because Joburg has the winning fields for you. So let's go.
Let's move.
It is true, my Ryle. We do have the winning formula to end off the show. And you know what? We've had such a great one. 5 stars, would highly recommend. And one guy I do recommend is Ricky Tyler. The next song he is about to perform is featuring Playground. It's called You Are Mine. Everybody, let's give it to him.
Know you were my flamingo, and I still wonder, when we were stuck in limbo, do you still feel that way? 'Cause I can't get over you. Wish it was easier to fake. You got a hold on me. Do I look stupid? I'm not ashamed. remember you are mine. Pieces of your mind racing through my mind. Surely I must be delusional, that's why I keep on trying. Can't blame me for trying, babe, just remember you are mine. Hey, yeah. Remember you are mine. Yeah. Let's go. Say what? Remember you were mine. No, we don't have to end like this, I'm pulling in. And we ain't gotta die just to be born again. I don't wanna burn that bridge, let's try again. Everybody else don't know your bandages. I was there. You won't ever be my enemy. And I've been patient all along. I mean, you were never right or wrong. All we needed was some time alone. Feeling like I've been tweaking, it's just now I'm waiting up for you like all night long. But I remember you were mine. Pieces of your mind racing through my mind. Surely I must be delusional, that's why I keep on trying. Can't blame me for trying, babe, just remember you were mine. Yeah, remember you were mine. Yeah, remember you were mine. Remember you were mine. Yeah. So remember you were mine. Remember when you were mine and I was yours. Remember when you were mine and I was yours. Remember you were mine. So remember when you were mine and I was yours. Remember when you were mine and I was yours. Remember you were mine.
Oh, come on, everybody, give it up for the superstar. Ricky Tyler, my king, you can go and have a seat after just, entertaining the country like that. Thank you so much. Everybody, it is Ricky Tyler. Remember, his beautiful project is coming out this Friday and it's going to be big. However, Cape TZ, what's happening, my family?
There's Zanele obviously raising people's expectations about what you're going to get when you start a new relationship. I would say lesson learned today, authenticity. Just lower your expectations, otherwise you're going to be hurt.
For me, it's ice cream, whatever the joy, the misery. The solution is ice cream.
Ice cream, just be happy.
I think for me it really stands out that I have a complete new idea of what a relationship is. It's an opportunity for you to build your own relationship, your own rules and your own magic. And it's an opportunity for you to create that however way you wish, as long as you both agree on it. I never really thought about it like that.
Oh, I love that, man. Zanele, have you lowered your expectations? Have they risen after today's chat? What's your lesson learned?
Listen, my beautiful lady and gents, I definitely think that for me, what I have taken away, especially after that huge chat on social media, whatever social media says, do the opposite. Whatever they say there, just turn around and do the exact opposite. I think that is what I am taking away, my lovelies.
Oh, absolutely love that. Says the most gorgeous girl in the room to the other most gorgeous girl in the room. I think all of us need to just chill. If you are going through the most, I know we joke about these things, but this is a safe place. We want you to be able to share, and we'll do it all over again tomorrow. Don't forget how much we love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Another feel-good production.
Enjoy a thicker and creamier full cream yogurt with real fruit pieces. A fruitful day awaits with Clover Fruits of the Forest.